Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Coventry, and welcome to ZealZaddy. I'm the DM of Elixia, Box of Memories. This is Season 2, Episode 7, The Cold Dark Places. This is a D&D 5e campaign in a homebrew world. To follow ZealZaddy, you can follow us everywhere at / or at ZealZaddy. So that would be our Linktree, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, and our Discord button is down below. We're going to do a little recap in a moment, but we have 4 players that I want to bring on because they are awesome and chomping at the bit to start. All right. And actually, we have 3 tonight because we have 1 that's out. So let's let them introduce themselves. Let's start with Dillon tonight.
One of them is with us in spirit, so.
Yeah.
I'm Dillon. Reason we're late tonight, so I'm just messing. I play Eslov, the Dragonborne Barbarian, who was totally zonked out for last session, and I plan to have him be a little bit more checked in for this one, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
He may be more zonked out this session. Who knows?
We'll see.
It's very cold.
We'll see. Part of the reason why I was so zonked out last session is because I was kind of zonked out in real life.
So it wasn't really acting then. It was
method.
real. It was reeling.
It was method acting.
Right. All right. Tiffany.
Oh, my mic's over here. Hey, I'm Tiffany. I play Cerridwen Sagewynd. She goes by Dillon. She's the bard of the party. I also run my own campaign called Dungeon Damsels. So if you want a campaign with some awesome, strong ladies and wholesome moments, that's it for here. But if you want some sweet action of traversing the uncharted dark tundra, then this is the place where you want to be, because that's where we're going.
It is where we're going. Morgan.
Sorry, I was turning it back on. Well, what's up, everybody?
Listen to that mic.
Yes.
New mic. Oh,
Yes, I have a new mic.
Every ounce of bass in this man.
Well, what's up, everybody? I am Morgan. I'm with Mindslade Mondays. We are professional DMs for hire, myself and several others. I also just started a podcast. We just dropped episode 2 yesterday, and I'm very excited to see how this grows. So give it a check. In this game, this amazing, wonderful game that Scott is running for us, I play Vesryn Madrick of House Madrick. He is a wood elf wizard. And as always, I'm just excited to be here with you guys.
us too. All right. So, who wants to do a recap? Or do you want to do it collectively again?
I can just look at my notes.
So we started off in the water.
Yeah.
Or I guess on
Yeah.
a dinghy, maybe.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Freezing to death, mostly.
Reason to that. Well, most everyone.
Vesryn used prestidigitation more than he's ever used it before, trying to keep us warm.
We were
Didn't help
shipwrecked, by the way. We were shipwrecked in, like, the Arctic Ocean, basically.
In like the middle of.
Yeah.
By a nasty sea monster who wanted our whale blubber from the ship.
Yeah. So we had us, and then, like, 3 NPCs, four that we tried to keep alive. We lost 2. To exposure. Then we finally, like, hit land, and, like, camped out, made some fires. Throughout this time, we have Eslov losing his mind because he's so tired and hungry.
And getting cold because he decided to take a dip in freezing water.
Everyone's trying to not freeze. We go hunting because we don't have any food, and we track this, like, basically ostrich thing down to a cave. Meet its friends. And I think we go into, like, it's either the same cave or a different cave.
It was the same cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, we run into, like, muffets that are, like, ice muffets that are basically, like, a fey creature that, like, they kind of just wanted us out of the cave, so we left them alone, and they left us alone. And then we attacked again?
No, we didn't. So I remember after we fought those things, Vesryn heard noises coming down there. He sent Soul to investigate, and she didn't see much. When I went to set the alarm, that's when the ice Muppets, which by the way, every time I hear Muppets, I want to call them Muppets.
Me too.
The ice Muppets.
They are cute like Muppets.
They're like Fraggle Rock. Watch out.
Yeah.
Fraggle.
But they kind of like came at us. They drew like the fog on us, and we were able to dispel it or not dispel it. We pushed it off, and then kind of just established like we'll stay here, you stay there, and it's been like kind of that. And we went to sleep. When we woke up, we were trying to decide if we should try to go over the mountains or through them.
Yeah, and we decided to go under and through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though we really didn't want to.
I mean, it's like a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. Over the mountain
rock or a
seemed
cold
even
place?
more difficult. So.
Well, it's more like a rock and a cold place, right? Because we're either going through the rocks or I'm set up now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty
I
sure the
appreciate
rock's still cold inside the tunnel. It's not like warm.
It's definitely a cold, dark place.
Oh, that's the name of the episode.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Dun, dun,
you
dun.
are
We
in
should just
the
leave and then go out the other way.
you're in the entrance to the cave, and the mephits, which fly by the way, have pulled back with their fog and are staying far enough back to avoid your ability to do anything to them. And they just disappear right into the ice, like they'll fly into the ice walls and they just sort of merge with it. And you realize you're still hungry. And you're now inside this cave. And you've decided collectively to go forward. And you know the cave goes further back, but there are also mephits between you and there.
There are methods or
Mephits, the ice mephits.
method.
But they're small.
I see. I can think of 3 options here. 1, we try to find a way to communicate with them and make a deal so we can travel through. 2, we fight our way through them. Or 3, look at some of the other caves nearby to see if any of them have a route that doesn't take us through their territory.
Well, I can try. She just starts going down her list of like languages, and speaking out loud like, "Hello, we'd like to talk to you. Common, Draconic, Dwarf, Elfish, Giant, Gnomish, Sylvan, Ancient Elixian."
And none of them respond at all. And you can't even see them. You don't even know if they're still there. They've all merged into the ice, so you can assume they're there, but there's no way of knowing.
Well, they don't seem to be very responsive to what I have to say.
Well,
I don't see in my ear.
Have they made any noises whatsoever to try to communicate back with us?
No,
No?
not really. Just throwing stuff.
I'm just curious because I do have the ability to ritual cast the spell comprehend languages, which if they had a language, it would be at least where I could understand what they're saying, perhaps sign language, what we want to do. But if they don't even speak, it would be useless. It'd be a little bit useless.
Well,
I mean, I could try.
I don't see any problem with trying. I'd rather not anger invisible things I can't see.
Right, so
Around.
then I will reach into my pouch, pull out a pinch of soot and salt, and begin ritual casting the spell Comprehend Languages.
And you spend... Sorry, I heard my dog chewing on something. On a bone, I think. So you go through the time to cast the spell, and slowly the fog kind of comes back into the space over the time, since you're not pushing back with the wind anymore. And as you finish the spell, you kind of hear giggling, maybe, from above.
I hear giggling. These things seem to be
Y'all hear that?
communicating.
You can hear like a crackling, icy sound. Only he hears sort of a giggling.
Eslov kind of like shakes his head.
You hear it
He's
like, and he's hearing more like.
no, you're the one who's going into a fugue.
No, it's the way they communicate. I'm understanding it now. I will try to, like, hopefully they can see me. I'll say, can you please speak? Talk to us. And I'm like hand signaling like the gestures to talk.
What is the gesture to talk?
Like, talk
Oh, okay.
to us. You know, I'm like saying talk to us.
Right.
Speak.
And the giggling stops when you speak at them. And for a moment, you hear whispering, and then the fog fades, just dissipates. And there's a mephit hovering in the air above and a little further into the cave from you. And it cautiously sort of hovers and goes a little lower and lower. And it has a little dagger in its hand, and it holds it out in front of it. The dagger is made of ice, not like a metal dagger. And it holds it two-handed, and it comes down and lands, puts its feet to the ground. The icy ground, but the ground.
And I show my hands of no threat. Like, I only wish to speak to you.
You know our language?
I can understand you.
You heard what we were saying?
I can hear you now. I did not hear you before, but I can hear you now.
And it looks back, and in another language, you hear it say, it can speak to us in our main language. Use the other language. And then it turns back to you. And then in the first language, he goes, why are you here? Are you here to be food?
No, we're here to go under the mountains to get to the other side. We mean you no harm. We just are passing through.
Through here? No. Go around. Go around.
Is there a way we could come to some sort of arrangement? Perhaps we can harvest some of those creatures that we killed and provide you the meat.
Hold on, let me get my dice. We have no need of that meat.
Well, is this
That's
something
just
you do have
food.
need of?
That's food for the fungus.
Or is there something you do have need of that perhaps we can negotiate for?
What do you
Within
have
reach.
on you?
Unfortunately, not much because we were shipwrecked.
Well,
Boat.
let's see what you have. Take out your not much.
Let's see here. What do I have? I really don't have much.
And it takes a few
small
steps closer.
I have a small knife. I pull the small knife out. It's really, I mean, the longbow is gone. And I'm sure I don't have my dragon chest. I'm sure that's gone too.
And it's still holding it, the little dagger out in front of it as it comes a
I-
little bit closer.
I pull out the small knife. I say, how about an actual knife? Would this be something we could perhaps trade you for? That way, when your ice breaks, you have a steel weapon to defend yourself and your homeland.
If my ice breaks,
I'm just offering another opportunity. What if you're fighting something that ice doesn't bother it as much? Perhaps steel might work better against it.
And it turns and it says, "Do you think that would protect us?" To the other one in the other language. "Yes, but see what else you can get." And it turns, "We will take that and something else. We need to see more things."
I turn to you. Do you guys have anything that you're willing to maybe trade to our friends here? I think they are looking for items to protect themselves with against something.
Eslov will just
Go on.
We'll just shrug, and I mean, I could give them a hatchet and see if they want this. Then I'll pull out like a little thing of like frozen honey or whatever. Just something sweet that they've probably never had.
What is that? What is that?
That is sweet nectar. It's honey. It's very sweet and delicious.
Put it down. Let me come and taste it.
I will use a knife to give like a little piece of it, so that way he doesn't get the whole thing, and put that down so he can taste it.
And it very slowly and cautiously comes towards it. "Back away more.
And I will take a step or so back from.
You too. Both of you. The rest of you."
What's this want? Oh, okay. And then just back up.
Now the knife might be useful while he's eating, but you seem on edge. Is there something that is threatening your home, perhaps, that maybe we could help you with?
Everything is dangerous out here.
Is there
Even
anything
you.
particular?
And it picks up the knife and it tastes the honey.
I'm only dangerous to those who wish harm upon me. As long as we are amicable with one another, there should be no problems between your people and mine.
We will take the knife and this. And you can
And-
pass.
Do we have your word that we can pass without issues?
Of course. You have my word. Do you want to give him your word too? It says in the other language. Yeah, if I get the gold stuff, the golden thing. Wait a minute, I wanted the golden thing. Do you have more of these?
Do you have any more of this, Eslov?
I mean, that was probably the last of it, so I'll just shake his head no.
No. This is not, unfortunately, it's all we have at this moment of this. We're lucky to have this. You're lucky to have this. It's a very rare treat up in these parts. Perhaps you and your friends could share it. And I'll even give you another knife, a bigger one. So the small knife, obviously, is like, the letter opener, but I actually will give them my dagger as well, which is obviously much bigger than just the other knife. So they'll have two knives and the honey.
Yes, we'll make that trade. And it backs where you can put the knife with the other one, with the honey. And it has your knife, and it's holding your knife up to you, the first one.
And I set that down. Now it'll be all of us right here that you see here. Myself, and my, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companions. And as
Yes,
long as
all of you will be able to pass.
And again, as long as you wish us no ill intent, we will have no ill intent towards you or your kind.
Okay. No ill intent.
Insight check.
Go
Do I
ahead.
seem like only rolled a 9, but it's insight plus 4, so 10, 11, 12, 13.
It seems like it's speaking to you with no more ill intent than what's in the words.
Okay. May I have your name? I am Vesryn.
Commander, I don't know if I should tell you. He should not know our names.
If you have a nickname, a name that isn't your true name that you wish to use, that's fine as well. Just something that I can call you by in the future if I ever meet you again. The next time if we ever...
You can call me M.
M. It's a pleasure to meet you, M. If by chance we ever find ourselves wandering through here again, I will be sure to bring other things that will be delightful for you.
And it scoops up the stuff, and it sort of hovers and flies backwards. And then it goes to try and merge into the ice wall, and everything falls to the ground and slides around the curve of the cave. And it comes back out. And it picks them up again.
If you do it one more time, we can give you time, so you don't have to worry about us trying to steal it back from you. Feel free to fly down.
It picks up the stuff and it starts flying further back into the cavern instead of going into the wall.
Well, I think I was able to negotiate safety from...
Right? Wait, what's cool?
Yes. We were able to rest, right, Scott? This
Yes.
was like in the morning after we... Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Make sure. I'm going to make sure I do my long rest.
And as you...
Better be worth it.
Yeah. So you finish your rest. What are you doing then? Heading into the cave?
Yes. Are we ready to go?
Great.
How many levels of exhaustion do I still have, by the way? I have 2.
I think it's
2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you start heading into the cave, you see it kind of bends around to one side, which made it hard to see in very far, and then it goes left, and with you're using, what were you using for light?
Vesryn's light.
Oh, his light spell, that's right. His light cantrip.
Yes. I switched over to that, so we could use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You turn left, and the cave opens very quickly into this huge, round cavern with stalactites and stalagmites, all made of ice, just everywhere in here. The ground, of course, is slick, and it's with the darkness and the light kind of bending around things. It's even hard to get your bearing on where things are, but it opens up wide, and you're on the ground floor of it.
Im, if you have a suggestion on the best course of action, and you're willing to share it, I won't deny you any help to get us out of your cave sooner.
Oh, it just kept flying out. It left.
I said, I don't know if it heard it. I was saying as it was leaving, said it loud into the cave, but no response then.
Yeah, no response.
To either of you, I mean, this really is not my area of expertise. Either one of you want to take the lead.
I've never been underground.
I haven't either, but you should probably have someone big in front of you all in case something comes out of the dark.
Well, I mean, Vesryn and Morcant are in the lead because they can see things.
Oh, that's right. We had Morcant in the front, and then I was in the back, so that way we had eyes in both the front and the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the light, you don't need that, though.
That's true. Well, I can give somebody else a light spell.
I don't mind leading.
I think
But my guess is as good as yours.
what I'm thinking, Scott, is
Yep.
we'll rely on Morcant and my vision. I'll have something I'll have put on like the light on that I keep hidden away in my bag. But if we start to get in a fight or we need to see clearly, I will pull it out and drop it. Every hour I will be refreshing the light cantrip on it. So
Okay.
this way we can move without like this light source potentially attracting attention to us and relying on the dark vision for most of the trip. If everybody's okay with that.
Okay, so we're hand-holding in the dark. So, who's leading? You or Morcant?
Morcant would be leading.
Okay.
Oh, I figured with the light that I could lead.
Well, I mean, if you guys want to have a light source now, I'll pull it out. We can use it. I was just worried that it would be like a beacon in the dark to say, "Hey, come kill us." So.
Well, I feel like whatever's down here is gonna figure out that we're coming anyway.
That's true.
I guess this isn't the Underdark, but
Eslov, if you're going to take the lead, what would you like me to put the light spell on for you that you're carrying?
I'll just hold his axe up to you.
Your axe. Which that's
Literally.
Okay then, and I will cast light on his axe.
Okay.
Which is a 20-foot radius dim light. It's light and then another dim light for another 20 feet, so it's like 40 feet of light.
I was about to say, you only get dim
40.
light?
Yeah, it's 20 feet light and then another 20 feet of dim light. And,
Yeah, so 40. That's fine.
yeah.
20 clear, 20 hazy. All right, so you take the lead, and the cave is sort of like a big... It's not really exactly round. It's more like a heart shape without the indent at the top that comes in.
Great.
And it's wide enough that your light can't reach both sides at any one time. So you kind of have to choose a side if you want to figure out where to go from here, or just go straight through, whichever way you want.
Is there any way to potentially tell?
Well, if we put one hand on one wall, we'll be able to follow one wall.
Is there any, and it's probably not, but is there any breeze coming down from any of the hallways at all?
No, everything is still and cold.
I assumed, but figured I'd ask.
There is no fog at this point, though.
Say we just randomly choose and see which way it goes. We have no way of really knowing.
Does
No.
anyone have a coin we can flip?
I have
Let
plenty
fate
of coins.
decide.
And I will flip a coin. Heads left, tails right.
Other way around.
Okay, sure. Tails right. Or sorry, heads. Okay, whatever.
Head's right, tail's
Yeah.
left.
So which is it?
Hold on. There we go. Heads.
It's confusing.
Going right.
I guess we go right.
Okay. So as you're heading right, you're walking, and Eslov, you see, kind of half frozen in the ice, a shoe.
Is that a shoe?
Yep.
It looks like one. How big is the shoe?
He's a little confused.
Maybe it's probably bigger than what Vesryn would wear, but smaller than what Cerridwen would wear. And, and wider.
You said it's
Morcant.
frozen. Is it fully frozen?
It's like half frozen in the ice. It's sticking out a little bit. Part of it is in the ice.
Is this like white ice that we can't really see through at all?
No,
Or is
it's
it
fair.
clear?
It's fairly clear. You can see that it goes into it.
So there's nothing else, like there's not a body attached to that
No.
shoe?
Vesryn will immediately look up and see if there's anything above them. Because all I can think of is spiders reaching down and ripping people out of their boots.
There are, well, you can't see all the way to the ceiling. You do see up in the ceiling little points of light that you know are probably stalactites that are hanging down in here.
I'm gonna try to take the shoe.
Those are ask your little pixie friends if they know where this came from.
Oh, they've left.
Oh, they were gone. I thought they were following us.
No, they took their prizes and left.
Yeah. And as you pull it out, Eslov, you recognize it as a shoe of a Dragonborne, like a deep winter shoe. They would only put them on in the deepest, coldest times. And Cerridwen finishes pulling it out of the ice. And it's worn and damaged, but that's for sure what that is. It's wide enough that it would fit a Dragonborne.
Probably say that's not good.
So, Eslov, what do you know about these caves? Anything at all? Other than the name?
I know only rumors of things in the dark. Nothing beyond that.
Well, usually legends are based in some sort of truth.
I would concur.
I never listened to the stories. They would scare me as a child.
Do you remember anything?
You know that they had monsters that...
Bears,
Yep.
mostly fairy tales. I don't know. Maybe there's something down here.
You do remember that there were rumors that sometimes undead Dragonborne would sometimes walk out days after they walked in.
You would mention that too.
Ooh, that gives me the creepy crawlies.
Yeah,
Yes, especially since this is a Dragonborne's shoe.
Yes. Well, well, I guess we should keep moving forward. I mean, standing here looking at shoes isn't going to change much. But we should be on high alert.
Gonna just like tuck the shoe into her belt because why not?
sure.
I'm very curious about what you plan to do with that one old boot, but
Well, yeah, I don't know. We have nothing.
She's resourceful.
Maybe
She'll
someone's
figure
missing
something
a
out.
shoe.
Fair enough. You never know. You may find the person looking for his shoe some further down.
And as you're walking a little further ahead, as the light picks up, you see a little to the left of you what looks like a bone stuck in the ice.
Do you all see that bone?
Yeah, it's great. Oh.
Is this a Dragonborne bone?
It looks like a leg bone of some kind.
Is it about like the size of my leg? Or like
Yeah.
my...
Yeah.
Quickly, look to see if it's attached to the other foot with the other shoe.
Yeah, is it attached to a foot?
In the ice, there is the foot of this leg and a shoe.
And I imagine the foot has claws on it.
Gonna like hold up the shoe to the other shoe.
Same shoes.
Same shoe. Told you so.
Uh-huh.
This in his boot.
Well,
Well,
I'm not too excited to see the owner of this big.
well, perhaps I can repair these shoes later.
Can I
Once
get
we,
the other boot?
Yeah, you could chip it out from the ice.
Okay. Now I got a pair.
Mm-hmm.
Pair
And
of
they have
winter boots.
Yep. And they have nice fur, although matted in ice from the ice. It'd have to be warmed up to be useful.
I could prestidigitation those if you wish. Get rid of the ice.
Hold them out.
Phew. I'll get rid of the ice.
Warmth for somebody's feet.
Well, Eslov didn't want the boots.
They did the others so well. Perhaps they'll do you better.
I don't touch me with those.
Sure, I'll
Give me the
hang on.
flakes.
She's like, okay, I'll just put them away. And she's just kind of like, I mean, they're not going to fit her, so she just
Nope.
tuck them away.
Maybe we'll learn a trade later, as you said earlier.
And up ahead, you see there's like a place where the ice sort of slopes downward, right up against the edge of the cave, of the cavern.
Okay.
Does it look safe? Does it look like it might be like a slide? Is it like all iced over, or can we walk down it without issue?
You could either go around the lower area. It looks like it goes a good 10 or 15 feet down, and then it sort of disappears into a dark hole. Or you can go around it. There's room to go around it.
Can I have light on more than one thing? I think I can.
Well, it's a cantrip, so you can cast it like anytime you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any stones around on the ground?
Or like,
You just see ice. If there are stones, they're deep under the ice.
Is the bone that we found near here, or is it like
Yeah.
way far back? I'll
Are you
grab the
gonna-
bone.
You're gonna make a bone torch.
I'm going to make a bone torch for the light and toss it down to see what's further down.
Okay. So you do, and it slides down, and then it just sort of, like those toys you put a coin in, and they make like a circle, and then
Yeah.
they disappear. It kind of does that around this hole, and then and shoots away, and disappears into a hole.
that's pretty far down.
About 15 feet down, it becomes a hole that just sort of it fades out into.
We can't see the bottom.
No, you can't see the bottom because it goes off to a side.
Uh-huh. So we can go down the slide of death, or we can walk around it.
We can walk around, or if we want to see what's down there, we do have the rope from the boat. Ironically, that sounded funny. But
I mean, what do we want to go deeper into the cave, as in like below it?
That's what I'm saying. Why? What reason do we have to go deeper? We could just go forward.
I don't
We
know
can
how
go
these...
around it.
I mean, I'm fine with going around. Just we may have to backtrack. 'Cause sometimes you have to go down, and I don't know. I've been told caves can be quite weird. You have to go further down to go further up sometimes.
There's no way of knowing.
There's no
We'll
way
have
of
to
knowing.
try.
I mean, we
But
could walk for 15 feet that way and then see the outside. I don't know.
This is 100% true. So yes, I would agree with you.
Flip a coin. Let's just
No.
go.
Let's just go around for now. It's a safer route, less likely for somebody to get killed in the hole of death.
Okay.
How are the NPCs doing?
And you go around the
Oh,
slide
Yeah, I
hole.
think,
Yeah.
How are the NPCs doing? I
Oh.
think she was.
They're staying behind you and mostly afraid. Omari is in the midst of it and definitely out of her element.
Are they in danger of dying from exposure?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everybody is. There will be con checks coming up soon enough.
Okay.
But yes, you don't have any real warmth.
Yeah.
You have the cloak.
We should see if we can, as we're moving, we should look for like rags or any type of plant or wood down here that we might be able to use as like torches, just to provide some extra warmth as we're moving through.
That's not a bad idea.
Save out what we have.
I mean, we can burn the boots. It's just hold up the boots.
Well, now that I wish I would have kept the bone. We could have put the boot on the bone and then set it on
Burn
fire.
the boot. That is one way of creating a torch.
Well, we'll keep an eye out. There's probably more bones.
Fur can be made to burn.
How big are the NPCs? Are they all like human or?
Elven and human size, yeah.
So like they can't wear the boots as a footwear.
No, they're too. It's just too big.
Okay. You can say no to this, but can it be used as a hat or a hand warmer?
It probably could be used as a hat.
All right, I'm gonna hand them to the NPCs. Be like,
Okay.
look, I know it's not fashionable, but will keep your ears warm. And she gives them the boots.
And the two that are alive there outside of Omari, they accept and put them on their heads.
not bad to boot.
They're shivering still, but with you.
Right. Well, there is a warm, I think.
Well, you should keep their heads warm. So.
Yep.
So let's follow this around.
All right, press forward.
So you go around the hole, and a little bit further up ahead, you see there's another hole in the cave, but it's about 5 or 10 feet up, not down.
How big is the
Right.
hole?
Looks like it's about 5 or 10 feet, somewhere in there, wide. Big enough to
Does it
walk
look like-
through.
Does it look like the same size as the other one?
Yeah, about the same at the base.
Okay.
That's
Well,
not just like shutters.
Is it
Vesryn,
like-
I can give you a boost if you want to look around.
Hold on. From here, can I tell if it's like perfectly circular? Does it look like it's naturally made, or does it look like something dug its way through and made a hole? Because when you say hole, I picture like a round hole where something might have dug through this.
There are a lot of holes that you've seen that look more or less like this shape. Not necessarily the size, but the shape. It seems like the ice, when it freezes over, it tends to make tunnel shapes rather than hard anchored things. I mean, they're not even or anything. They kind of have lumps and stuff, like more organic.
All right. Well, with that, I guess, sure, boost me up. I don't know why I'm going up there, but I will take a look.
She picks him up and holds him up.
He goes very slowly and tries to be as sneaky as he's trying to take a look into the hole without like attracting if something's there.
And you get, somebody boosts you up, and it's slick because it's still all ice, and it goes up ahead and sort of very gently curves to the left and very gently downward.
And I will tell you what I see.
Is this a dead end apart from this opening?
No, he doesn't know. He'd have to go further to know.
Well, she's saying like, besides this hole, is there any other place to go in here?
Oh, you don't know. You'd have to meander around more.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's one way to go. And bring him back down. We'll look this way.
Yes. Let's keep looking around. Look up, down, all around. See what we can find.
And I guess you come back down and you continue along the edges of the cavern. And a little ways ahead, you find another hole but in this case, it's in the floor rather than the walls. And it looks like it's about 10 or 12 feet wide. And there are places where there are like cut areas into the ice around the lip from one direction. So, it's like a big hole, but there are places where there's like cut lines in it, sometimes in 4s or 5 patterns of 4 or 5 at a time, that kind of thing.
It looks like they've been carved, or like teeth marks perhaps.
It could be teeth marks sure, it could be teeth marks, claw marks, anything like that.
Is it like, do these marks like go down along like the length, like into the tunnel, or is it just at the lip?
It goes from a little bit in the room to the lip of the tunnel and then disappears, like they don't continue.
Well, I think we need to start marking where we've been. Eslov, can you hack at the ice a little bit to make an arrow or something?
Yeah, he'll take one shot and then he'll take another shot like perpendicular, making an X.
Okay. X marks the spot.
So we've been this way.
And
Right.
after this, you know that the wall seems to be curving back again. Like you may have hit the center of the big shape at this point.
Okay. And so if we keep following this curve, it will just kind of go back to where we came from.
Yeah, you think so?
I think we'll just double back if we go this way. So, do you want to try this creepy tunnel or the creepy tunnel that's went up?
Don't forget there's a creepy tunnel that the first one we found that goes further down.
Or the down one?
Creepy A, B, or C?
I vote, I don't know, I guess for the one that goes up.
The one that goes up and goes around the corner.
Yeah.
Wait, you said it went around a corner, but it looked like it went back down, right?
Yeah, but it sloped more gently than the other two.
That has my vote as well. I'd rather not take a dangerous pathway until we've searched all the easier ones first.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have better chances of an opening on the side of the mountain instead of below it, so let's go. So we'll just start backtracking to the hole that went up.
Perhaps we get somebody up there, then we use the rope, and the person up there helps everybody else get up. Because you said the side was icy, right? So it wasn't easy to get up there.
Yeah, you need to kind of... The first one has to be helped up, and then the rest of them can help pull them up.
Sure. No.
Okay. So you get up there, and it's level enough. It's not level, but it's level enough that you can kind of all get in there and stand. You don't have to be like buckled over. Even Cerridwen can stand in here once you get through the hole. And then you can see with the light that it curves left, and it kind of begins to slope downwards. Gently enough that you could walk it without just sliding.
Okay. Well, we walk.
No natural force. They were carved by something.
And can I get a con check from everybody? Con save, I mean.
Starting it off decent with a 16.
Oh, nice. Damn.
15 total. 15 for me.
Damn.
15.
Nobody failed their con save. Damn.
Nice.
Wow. I didn't expect you guys to just shove that off that easily. Damn. Okay. That's good, though.
Oh, wait, there's still Morcant, so...
Oh, yeah, somebody can roll for him.
I'll roll for him. All these check turns. Sorry, Morcant, that's a 4.
So one fails. I shouldn't have said anything.
So he has 2 now.
Yeah. he's
Oh, no,
a
because
two.
we rested. I think he would have got his back. Remember, he had one before we rested?
Yeah, okay, so he has 1.
Yeah. Because he rested.
Yeah, but it's from freezing at this point. It's not just exhaustion.
No, I just meant because when we rested, you said we knocked one of those off.
Oh, you're right.
So-
You did knock one off. He was at 1. So
he was
so
at
now
1, so this-
now he's at 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I use my bardic inspiration to help the NPCs again? Doesn't have.
I think you said they already passed, right?
Oh,
I think
Some
you
of
rolled
them.
for them.
Yeah, they already made theirs.
okay. I'll just do it next
So
time.
save it for next one.
Yeah, I'll do it next time.
And it curves, and you can feel it beginning to slope downward and downward, but it's walkable because of how it's sloping, and you go a pretty good distance, and then the light shows that it opens up to another tunnel, like it merges with another tunnel.
Okay. We come to like a crossroads, like a T
Yeah,
intersection.
yeah, but they both seem to be sloping down into the same direction.
Oh, okay. Merge lane.
Merging, yes, merge lane.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look back at, and once we get to the merge lane, I'll like look back at the other tunnel to make sure.
It looks like it does something similar, but up the tunnel, you can see it was a little steeper, or maybe a lot steeper.
Okay, so that way is steeper going up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there a way to kind of get the idea that that might have been from the first hole that we saw?
It's possible.
In the same, it's kind I don't know if we can tell since I'm sure the caves curve around and stuff, but I'm just wondering if that would have been like a faster route but a more dangerous route down.
Maybe. Could have been. Yeah. And here at this merge area, you can see that just a little bit ahead of you, the tunnel, drops some more 5-6 feet in a very short area, and you're gonna have to climb down it carefully.
Ready? We'll go down and help people get down.
Okay, can I get a dex save from the one going first?
Woo! I'm great at tags. Oh, I did do great. Okay, that's
Okay.
Let's go.
it's a check or a save.
A save.
That's a 23.
Oh yeah. Okay. You're like, it's really slippery here, but I got it. I got you.
Ooh. Sort of just slide down. Right.
Well, your feet slide a little bit, but you're able to find somewhere to kind of brace them so you can help the others down if you need.
Right. Yeah, I'll do that and then just.
So everyone else needs to make a dex save, but with advantage.
I will
15.
take that.
I'll roll for Morcant.
Okay. Morcant's next. Okay.
I would have got a 9, but since it's an advantage, I got a 20.
Okay. Good.
So thank you, Dwayne, for helping me down.
Morcant got a 16.
Nice. Omari got a 19. NPC 1 has a 13. Makes it. And a 16. So everybody made their deck saves. Sliding down. And it slopes a little bit faster here. And you can see up ahead that it opens up. And you think you hear the sound of water up ahead. Like running water.
Water. All right. Water has to exit, right?
Yes.
Hopefully. It would exit into the ocean.
And it would be nice to refill our water skins.
So too.
Water could be flowing down. Some sort of underground ocean or lake or river or something.
Could be, but only one way to find out. It's a good idea to move forward. We're going to need water anyways.
I'm able to drink up.
But I wouldn't give for some warm water right now.
Well, if we put it in your water skin and you keep it near your body, it might warm it up a little bit.
That would cool me off. The water's cold. Where do you think the cold is going?
It'll disperse.
That's not how it works, Vesryn.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yes. Let me put an ice cube against my skin. Really, that would be good.
Right, so we'll go towards the water.
All right. And as you exit this cave, and it narrows a little bit, but when you come down out of it, just ahead of you, maybe 10 feet, there's actually a little creek running through this now opened cave, this cavern. And the water looks freezing cold, but it's not frozen. And it just seems to be running into the wall and disappearing or something.
Obviously, it's going kind of in a little bit of a downward angle, I would assume.
It is.
Either one of you could be right. Could go out, or could go further deeper.
And when you look around, you see that there are some skeletons here, half buried in the ice. To the right of you, the cave opens to the right, and the water's on the left of the room, of the cavern.
If we're not interrupted, I might try to cast Detect Magic to see if these things are, enchanted in any way, or if there's anything on them that might be magical.
So I've been looking at cleric spells. I don't know exactly how clerics work, but there's a ritual spell called Augury
Yeah.
that I'd like to give a shot. So can Morcant do a ritual cast of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. We're both ritual casting.
So there's a lot of mumbling and chanting going on here.
The second level divination.
Hold on. Oh, I don't think my page.
And I also want to change one of his prepared spells to create food and water.
Okay. Oh, yeah. He'll do that after he does the augury. So with the augury, he starts. Does he have what he needs to cast it? Hold on a second. Oh, you could use the bone or something you had. Actually, you could use any of the bones here. Okay.
Yeah.
So. All right, so you need to determine a course of action,
Okay.
and he'll get a feeling for whether it be good or ill.
Okay. Let's just say. So our choices are upstream or downstream, pretty much.
Well, no, the room is big,
Okay.
and you can't see the ends of the room, and after looking around a little bit, you realize that there's more open cavern on the other side of the water too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And there are some
Cool.
big rocks sticking out of the ground in here too.
So let's just say our plan of action is to try to maintain this. Either we try to maintain this like certain level within the mountain and go straight through, or we try to go up and through, or down and through. That's kind of how I see it. Any comments or preferences?
For me.
I would say, I would try to see if following the water is the right way out. That's what I would.
Okay, yeah. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, if we follow the river, will that lead us out?
Yeah, he looks at the walls, and you can see that the water is coming out of a wall and disappearing into another wall. So if it's going through, there must be just a hole just big enough for the water to go through the room and disappearing somewhere into the rock or the ice.
Oh. All right, so there's okay. So that wouldn't really make sense to ask that.
I mean, the only way to do it would be like if you were cave diving kind of thing, where you were underwater in the river, in the creek. You don't even know if it's big enough for you to slide through that way. But
Okay.
Eslov, make me a perception check.
Alright, well, that's going to be a
A what? A 16?
16.
Okay. So one of the skeletons off to the side is a very obviously a dragonborne. There's a skull to it that's out of the ice, but there are like bumps and something all over the bones, making it look deformed.
Am I able to pick one up? You have like the skull up me to examine it closer.
Okay, you get closer, and it just looks like it's, instead of being more whitish, it's more of a gray, and it's very lumpy, and it's deformed. The shape is not correct. Like, it's not smooth like bone. It doesn't have the right, it has the right overall form, but it doesn't look, maybe there's something growing on it, like a lichen or something.
Is anything magical, Scott?
It's not.
Yeah. take the skull at the very least, burn it, because it's what as people.
You want to do what? You want to?
Would he be able to get the skull? Like, does he have like a sack he can put it in so he can burn it later? Just to give the bones a proper percent of burial.
Oh, I don't. You definitely don't have a sack big enough to carry all the bones.
No, not all of them. Just the skull.
Would you have had a sack on you when the ship went down? Because that is where most of everything was lost.
You could like use like the rope somehow and kind of like.
Or the.
Yeah.
Was there anything on the dinghy? Like sometimes we got up on the dinghy.
We gotta work with what we have. The pants are coming off, and he's using those.
That's the way. Pants it is. I mean, you could just tear part of the pants, or you could just take the whole pants off and show off.
I don't get cold. Sure you don't.
Eslov, do you need a moment? Are you feeling? Oh, okay. You're carrying the skull. Never mind.
And how are you getting the skull into your pants?
Well, he's not actually using his pants. Those are big.
Okay.
I guess for now, hold it under his arm. Are there other skulls lying around, by the way?
Yeah, there are other bodies. They're spread out around here. Most of them seem to be Dragonborne, but there are also some animal bodies too.
Well, shit. I don't know. There's no way he can get all of them.
Are they all deformed?
Are they? Are they all deformed? Or is it just that one?
Nope, they all are.
Even the animal person?
Yes. Yep. Not just horses, but other animals. Like maybe some of the bird things like you'd seen and that kind of stuff.
You know, if I like scratch at it with part of my nail, does some sort of growth come off at all, or is it just?
Yeah, when you scratch with your nail, it scrapes off and it like releases like some of it like dust into the air around it.
And like cover his mouth with something. Everything.
His pants.
He takes off his pants and he covers his mouth.
And while you're looking at them, you realize that there are more of those cut areas in the floor over in this over here.
I think I would summon Soul for extra light and
Okay.
see if she can kind of just do a swoop around the room to kind of light up and see how many bodies are in here, as well as if there's anything that we're not seeing.
Okay.
With just our light.
Yeah, when you bring Soul into existence, it brings a little more light, and it can fly around the room, around the rocks and stuff. And there are several more of those tunnel holes in this cavern in a couple of different places. One of them, there's a whole bunch of these cut lines in the floor that go from somewhere in the room, sometimes all the way across the room, to this bigger hole. And there are bodies in here that count, when at the best count you can make, probably about 15 or 20, somewhere in there, of people and animals. Some of them are on the other side of the river, a couple of them, most of them are on this side. And there seem to be more and more as they get closer to this one hole where all those cut lines are in the ice.
Well, do you all see that?
Yeah, the big trail of death leading to a maw of oblivion. Yeah, that should just
I'm fairly certain that's not where we want to go.
Let's just back up slowly. Maybe we can go around it or something.
Yes, but I think we should proceed with caution, maybe try to be a little bit sneakier. Because if there's something in that hole and it detects us, it might try to drag us down in there. Does it look like drag marks, like something like drag people, like maybe people are like trying to fight and hold on? Or is it...
Now that you think about it, it could be claw marks of things trying to claw into the ice, and they just drags cut lines in the ice, perhaps.
You see how the claws, it looks like perhaps somebody tried to hold on for dear life and was yanked down. Well, we could try to sneak around, or we could try to throw something in there to see if it comes up so we can see what we're dealing with from a distance.
But if we throw something in, it knows we're here. I mean, it could know we're here and just not care, because it's pretty quiet, whatever it is.
I mean, I have heard that some creatures can detect you by sound. Not sound, I mean by movement. If you step and make vibrations. What if this is something like that? Perhaps we just walk over there, whether we're sneaking or not, and it just goes, oh, somebody's
And you'll have
dinner.
to stop talking for once, that's right.
Not talking about talking. I'm talking about vibrations from your footsteps.
Eslov just like rolls his eye. He goes, come on, I'm just messing with you. We can have a little fun down here before we die, can't we?
Your idea of fun and mine are very different, my good friend.
Well, you both drink pretty well.
And while you're talking, you hear something sort of slide back from where you had come in the room.
Yeah, no, Eslov shuts the fuck up as soon as he hears that.
So does Vesryn. Like, Vesryn's like chuckling, like, hell yeah. And we both like, oh shit.
Yeah, he just like grips his axe with like a white grip. Like a knuckles of white. Well, I guess that looks weird because he's already a white dragon. Never mind.
They're whiter knuckles.
Somehow. No, they get black somehow.
Yeah, they're blacker knuckles. I don't know.
Okay.
And
There's clearly something here.
and then you start hearing like a
Is there a rock on the ground?
Is there what on the ground?
Is there anything on the ground that's like I could throw?
There are just ice and the bones of the dead around here.
Okay, well, he's gonna try and like pick up something, either a piece of ice or a bone, chuck it as far as he can on the
I'm activating mage armor, which I generally keep on almost always because it's at will for me.
Yeah.
But I'm making sure it's activated and I'm ready, because if something's coming in here, we need to be ready to fight.
And then you hear something splash into the water. And there was no sound was made from whatever you had thrown, Eslov. I mean, it hit the ground, but whatever it was, it didn't even seem to make its pace change.
It is, so we see this, like, field of bodies, right?
Yeah, but you don't have enough light to see all the way across the cavern to whatever is making that sound.
Can I make out... So we have, like, 40 feet of light.
Yep.
Alright, so what I'm looking for is, like... basically, like, a pouch with, like, a buckle on it, or a chest that's closed.
You can find a buckle, like a belt with a buckle.
Okay. So, my plan is to try to use knock on the buckle. Because it has to be like a door or a box or a chest or another object that contains a mundane or magical means of preventing access. So I'm like, okay, the buckle being classed is in preventing access.
Okay.
And then by that, it makes a really loud noise away from us.
Okay, so you're trying to create a ventriloquist kind of effect.
Yeah, I'm trying to create, like, basically a distraction to, like, pull it away.
Okay. And you make this booming knock that is over across the room. And this sound, this pace, doesn't change. And then you hear something go through the water again. but it doesn't seem to react to the sound.
Shit, should I send Soul over there? Soul, how do you feel about flying over there?
You're asking Soul how it feels about flying over there?
Yes, I treat her as a part of it. I don't want to just force her to do anything.
Soul is not really fearful.
Mm-hmm. At least it's one of us, Soul. Do you want to go check it out for us?
And it flies, and it
Be
heads
cautious.
over to the side of the room with the water. And as it's flying, it comes up on initially what looks like a jacket or a clothing that is sort of being dragged, and then it comes up on a body being dragged, and you realize it's one of the people that was on your boat. And right in front of it, there's this creature dragging this body across the ice that looks kind of like a big plant thing. And it's just shambling across the ice, and the room turns to the right, and it seems to be walking into that area.
Well, Eslov rages immediately upon seeing that corpse.
Do we see it, or is this what I'm seeing through
You're seeing it through the eyes of
Soul?
Soul.
Oh,
I will immediately snap Soul back.
Okay.
Because I don't want her to get hurt by whatever this is.
Okay.
How big was this thing? Was this thing huge? Was this like a large
No, it was
creature?
humanoid size.
Some strange humanoid shambling
And it-
plant thing.
Yeah, it had lumps all over it, and like it was kind of gross.
And lumps all over it, and it looked like it was dragging one of your crew members, Captain Amari, one of the dead ones. Was this person from the actual vessel, or was this one of the people that escaped with us?
One of the people that died out before you made it to the cave.
Okay, somebody escaped with us that made it to land, but died.
Yeah.
This thing seems to be collecting corpses and bringing them here.
You said it was plants, right?
Some type of lumpy plant shambling creature.
I just don't know what a plant thing would want with meat.
it's down here. I've never heard of that.
Mm,
Did
Did it look like an actual plant creature, or like maybe it could be like a human or something that's covered in plants?
It
Is
could have
that
been that. Be hard to know.
I didn't have time to look over it thoroughly. It was moving, and I didn't want to risk attracting its, attention to Soul.
Yeah. It wasn't moving very fast. It was moving at a slow pace. I mean, it's dragging a body, so.
Well, obviously, Soul lit up the area, right? Like, it should have noticed the light, but it didn't seem to pay attention to it, right?
Right, it didn't react to it.
And I will say that. It didn't seem to react to Soul, though.
What kind of plants are they? Like seaweed or brush or pine?
Vesryn is not the botanist of the group. It was a planty plant.
It was
The
like the
stems
plant.
or leaves?
Although it was not green. It didn't have green, like, it was more grays and reds and touches of blue here and there, and strands of red that kind of came down
Wasn't like
from its arms.
It wasn't like a mushroom. It was like a plant.
I mean, maybe. It could have been more like a mushroom.
Yeah, that
Because
was kinda
mushrooms,
like-
mushrooms are closer to animals than they are to plants. Which is weird.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't sound like anything that would be native to this area.
I mean, has Eslov ever heard of, like,
No, nothing like that.
You okay?
something just happened outside the window? I think it was just a flash of lightning, but I don't know this.
Okay.
Never mind.
You look like somebody was breaking in your house or something. I was like, all
No,
right.
it was just surprising because I didn't even know it was. I didn't even know it started raining. I thought somebody was shining a flashlight. Oh,
Well, we're not going to get answers standing here. So, do we follow it? Or do we try to go a different route? I mean, there's several holes.
Well, I mean, I think if there's something we can talk to, maybe, then we could get directions. She kind of like wavers as she says directions.
I could prep comprehend languages once more, in case it's something that we can speak to. It gives me an hour to speak to it.
Yeah, because otherwise we're gonna just be wandering around in the dark like we've been doing. So they go try to talk to this thing.
All right, so let me go ahead and cast that. So, ritual cast that, and then let's pursue after it and see if we can get it to speak.
So you're going to cross the room, and what do you do when you get to the creek?
Well, first I'm going to cast Comprehend Languages, which is ritual cast, and then I think we're going to... Oh, we got to get across the creek. How far is it? Easy to jump? Is this like a really large creek?
No, it's not real large. 6-7 feet across, not real big.
Are there like rocks that I could stand on and then like be another brace for the people?
There's a big rock on the other side of the creek, right up near it. On this side you're on, there are some big rocks, but they're not that near to the creek.
Okay.
So,
I can cross it and then push that rock over. We got stepping stone.
you see if that works, yes. And then, if anything, we can toss you one into the rope, and then use that in case somebody falls in, so that way we can hold on to them.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, try to jump over the creek.
Okay.
Running start.
Yep.
I'm going to put a rope around her first. I stop her right before you run. So let's tie this around your waist.
Okay.
Eslov, can you help me hold on to this so if she missteps and goes into the water, she doesn't get sucked away out the hole?
Morcant, can I get a guidance from you? Why, of course.
Of course.
Blessings of Acor upon you, child. Alright, I just gotta dig out. My D4s always wind up at the bottom of my little box.
Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta open my window because it's starting to rain.
Okay.
Okay. So, dex check.
Yep.
Alright, that's 15.
Okay. You get to the other side and you hit the ice on the other side after the jump, and you immediately start to slide. I need a strength check from Eslov. Yes, everybody holding onto the rope on the other side.
Check or save?
A check.
Would it be both of us, or would it be one of us rolling that advantage since we're working together the whole?
Yeah, I'll let you do it together with advantage.
Okay, good.
You're trying to do it together collectively.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 16. I rolled a 2 at first.
Okay. So
Also, it's a huge downpour right now. Okay.
yeah, did you? Yeah, go ahead and close your window or whatever.
No, I opened it
Oh, okay.
because I want to listen.
Oh, okay. So you get the other side and you slide for a bit and you run into the rock and you catch yourself with the rock, Cerridwen. But you're on the other side, and now they're all on the side opposite you,
Right.
and it's their turn.
I made it. I'll push the rock into the stream so they can have a stepping stone or and then hold onto the rope.
See if it's hold, right?
Okay, that's a good idea. All right, so it's pretty big, but you can slide it. It's sitting on the ice, so you push it over, and it kind of falls into the water, and the water starts kind of wrapping around it, but not to the same width that it was initially.
You don't know if there's like a something to grab onto in the middle, you can grab onto it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Captain Amari, perhaps you and your companions will go across. We'll hold the rope, use the stone, and get across.
Yep. We'll make a dex. Okay. So one of them slips, but catches himself with either Omari or Cerridwen, or somebody is there to kind of catch them and make sure they don't slide into the water. All right. The rest of you,
All right.
dex checks.
All right. We'll have Morcant go next.
Okay.
Get the cleric across.
Yep.
I guess I'll roll for him this time. What is his stuff? Actually, I don't have it up. Dwayne, you roll if you have it up. I don't have it up. I gotta get his character sheet up. I am slipping.
I should just not roll with this dice. It always rolls bad. That's a 4.
A 4. Okay. Yeah.
Does he get advantage though? Because we're. Or no, I'm just asking. I don't know if we do with the ropes and the rocks.
Yeah. Now he has to make a dex save now.
Okay.
And
Makes sense.
A 6.
6.
That's a 6.
Okay. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. He just slips into the water and starts sliding a little bit. But it's not very deep. It's only, 2 feet deep.
We're like, no, Morcant! Guys, I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. But he comes out and he's freezing cold. And he has to make a con save. Can somebody give him a con save roll?
I'll do it.
Else roll.
I rolled a natural 16.
Okay, here's con.
And then I'm going to hit him with prestidigitation to get the wet off of him.
Get the wet off.
Yeah.
Get the wet off.
Get the wet off.
Hold on, I gotta use these.
You got a what?
Making fun of me.
Okay. So you get across. All of you get across, with only one person having fallen in. And you're on the side that kind of curves around. And as you follow around there, it curves to a big sloping tunnel that kind of goes down, but there's no body there. But that creature, whatever it was, is walking back towards you. And it's moving slowly. It's not paying attention to you.
Hello.
I'm just gonna.
I'm just gonna.
With the comprehend languages on hello.
And it continues walking. And when it gets near you, it stops and it goes around the group.
I'm gonna shove it a little bit, like not like enough to like push it out. Just like push it just a little bit.
I'm like, okay.
See what happens.
Turns around, eat your face off.
Well, it might.
I mean, why not?
You're getting rated, by the way.
Very nice. We love being rated. Who is rating us?
Yay!
Woo! Waffles Maple, thank you again.
Thanks for joining the party.
So, when you push back on it, there's like a puff of dust that comes off of it into the air around you, and it sort of shrugs away. And in the air, can I get a poison save from everybody?
Everyone, you. I'm just kidding. All right. 14.
Is there a con save?
Is it con save?
Yeah, con. Yes, con.
16 for me. Not Eslov. Ooh. I rolled a nat 1 for Morcant.
No.
Someone else roll.
Hey, I was rolling good for Morcant. I was rolling good for him till right now.
Look
I
for it.
got a 17.
17. Okay, so Omari gets. And the other two. Wonderful. So Morcant and the three other people, Omari and the other two, they stop for a moment and they just sort of collapse to the ground. And the thing just keeps trying to walk around you.
I need to get them away. Try not to touch the creature any further.
And it doesn't even pay attention to you hardly. It just sort of keeps walking. But there's like a cloud there that sort of starts dispersing slowly. Welcome, Waffles, by the way. Thank you for the raid. We're in the middle of a cold, dark cave with a shambling plant thing that is just trying to live its life and being shoved around by the party.
Not the party, but Eslov.
By Eslov of the party. Eslov is our Dragonborne who is not putting up with this bullshit anymore.
But it wasn't like a mean shot. It was more of like a just, let's see what
I
happens.
know.
Yeah.
I know what it was.
That's why it was like a cat. He's just like trying to play with it. Swatting it.
He may be Dragonborn, but somewhere in his bloodline, he is also a tobacco.
Oh yeah.
So there's this dust that came off of the body of the plant when it was shoved, and everyone got to make everybody's favorite roll, the poison save. I mean, who doesn't love that, right?
So much my favorite.
And 4 of the party collapsed, and that's where we are. We're in a cold ice cave.
What? Cerridwen just shakes it off and is like, that wasn't bad, and then turns around. What happened?
Everyone else aside from Cerridwen and Eslov?
And Vesryn.
And Vesryn. I'm fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vesryn.
Yep.
Morcant, Captain Amari, and the other two right now.
Well, Eslov immediately runs over to Ari to make sure she's alright. You know, like check her.
Yes. And Vesryn will check Morcant.
Check the NPCs. Old Dutch.
And Morcant is breathing, but his body has stiffened. The other one, all of them, their bodies have stiffened after they collapsed.
Perhaps we should find a place. Yeah, perhaps we should find a place to take a short rest until they can maybe get the movements back, or see if they can get the movements back.
And you hear the shambling coming back a few moments later. And this thing is like right next to all of you. And it reaches into the group and it grabs the arm of one of the bodies and starts dragging it out of the group.
Cover your mouths, Eslov says. And immediately, like 3 seconds after, he swings his axe. Like a
Roll a hit. Let's go to initiative. I mean, you're going to get surprised, but...
That's 22 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Really? Okay. That's an 11 damage.
Okay. So,
And he's not covering his mouth, so I'm assuming I have to make a saving.
That's correct. You do. And you hit, and there's a puff of just this dust that just and fills the air all around you in the area. And the thing lets go of the arm of your compatriot. Initiatives now. What did you...
20 for that save.
That's
Okay.
a 2.
Okay. I got the
Vesryn?
17.
Okay. Everyone else is down. Okay. Eslov, you're up again. You get first.
raging. Just trying to steal his sleeping friend who's paralyzed.
course.
Just a bit.
Right in front of you, even. It's bold-faced.
The audacity. The audacity of this plant. To not only decide to one day get up and start walking, to also...
All right. Do what you're going to do, Rager.
Well, what happens, though?
Oh, I need to roll your... Oh, yeah. I haven't gotten to roll
You want me to roll instead?
Yeah, you can roll a D8.
5. I feel like this is inconvenient.
Okay. So you get riled up and everyone sees you suddenly have this shimmering glow around your whole body. And it's like a reddish, angry color. And it's just moving with you. It's like part of you. We'll see what happens.
I will make my attack.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 10.
A 10 misses.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I get an extra attack? I don't, do I? What level are we? Oh, wait, I should, right?
You
If I
should
get an
now.
extra attack?
I mean, you're 5th level now.
Nice.
You would, and look up your sheet.
I should really have this memorized by this
Yeah.
time now.
I mean,
I do not actually.
okay. Vesryn.
No, you get an extra attack at 5th level, dude.
I have 1 level of Ranger.
He's 4-1.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Yep,
that
4-1.
Yep.
I could have bonused action. No, I couldn't.
Okay. Vesryn, seeing that Eslov is engaging, will step further back away from this thing because he doesn't want to get hit by the puff any more than he already was, and he will hit it with. I think I'm going to go with a firebolt for the start here. Just want to see what fire does to it.
Okay.
14 plus 7, so that's I'm pretty sure that hits.
That hits.
2d10. Man, I love that. I forgot that cantrip's damage goes up for some of them as you level up. Oh, I just dropped both my dice on the ground, so let's get 2 new ones.
Those are probably your best dice too.
15.
Ooh,
I did
15.
15 points. 15 points of fire damage to it. I don't know how that
Dang.
affects it. Does it seem to, since it's like plant-like, does it, the fire seem to do anything extra to it or no?
It doesn't. It hits it and it does burn some, but it seems to be very wet, and the fire doesn't seem to do anything extra. And when you do this, the nearest to it is Eslov, and it strikes at you with these sort of clubby hands that it has. What's your AC?
15?
You say 13?
15.
Oh, 15. Okay. And it hits with one of them. And you take 6 points of damage. And when it happens, this shimmering around you lashes out at it, and it does a d6 of damage back to it. Can you roll a d6? What?
Barbarian Rebuke.
Yep, Barbarian Rebuke. Do a d6 of damage back to it.
Oh, I rolled it as a 4.
Okay. And Cerridwen. On the nearly impossible to roll 2 for initiative.
I managed it, though. She'll spend She'll spend this entire turn taking Morcant and the NPCs and just pulling them away from the battle, and then trying to like tuck them somewhere where they're kind of safe.
Wow,
And
we have
also,
a responsible party.
That was so... Saving is caring.
Yeah, and then she'll put her cloak on them to try and keep them warm. Just like, please don't die. And that's what I'll do for my turn, is just getting them out of the way.
Okay. And we get back up to the top, Eslov, and this thing is right in front of you, and it just struck at you, and this shimmer around you struck back when you were hit. And it's your turn again.
The 17.
17 hits. Yeah.
Naturally.
It doesn't seem to be particularly fast or anything, although it is now moving a little more than it had before.
The 7.
7? Okay.
17.
Oh, 17.
Yes.
Okay.
And, actually, as a free action, because I keep forgetting that I can do this, I'll use my favorite foe ability. Extra D4. So it's a 21.
Yep, that hits. 20.
That's 21
Oh,
damage.
21 damage. Okay, so 21. Okay, when you go to swing at it, your axe slices through it, and then it sort of slides off like in half, but there's a little bit dangling from a piece of its skin, and then that little bit just snaps and it breaks in half, and the top just sort of falls to the ground, and the other part just sort of slumps down, and the inside of it is just pure white almost. There's it's no organs or tissue or anything, it seems.
I don't want to touch that white because I'm guessing it's the dust. But do I have to make another save after that attack?
You don't, but it does get another... Oh, no, it doesn't get another d6 if it attacked. But it just sort of falls apart there. Caring is sparing. That's a good one.
Caring is sparing.
For the next, 45 seconds or however long he's mad for, he's just going to keep kicking at the pile of plants, spitting at them.
Yeah. Cerridwen, can you make me a perception check?
Typical angry barbarian.
Yeah, you can keep at this thing.
Okay. Max is 17.
Okay, nice. 17's good. So you're moving your compatriots' immobile bodies away from the fray, and the cave entrance where this thing seemed to have come down and you had come down initially, you see another one of these things sort of sliding down, and then it stops when it gets to the bottom and starts shambling towards the water. You're on the other side of the water. And then a moment later, you see another one slide into the entrance of that tunnel and start walking across also.
Oh, man.
We have company! They're not very fast company, but they're coming.
But now, one thing that strikes you that you hadn't thought of before, but they don't look like the same things. They look similar-ish, but their bodies are deformed in different ways with lumps and rises and parts that sort of hang down like strings from their body, and they all look very different. Some look like they have arms, some look like they don't, and if it's an arm, it's barely an arm, but they do have just enough body shape to know that it can walk and hold things, but it's barely that. And each one's very different from the next one. it
Any of
seems.
them, this is a shot in the dark, but do any of them look like vaguely Drakai?
Is Eslov
Yeah,
still
one of
awake?
them has some little horn things coming off the top of its mound, and wrapped around it has like a cap with little horns coming out. So maybe, potentially, and it's fairly big.
Oh God.
Oh,
Eslov will once he gets out of his race. I think we found out the bodies.
Yes. I think we should grab our friends and go as quickly as possible. I'll grab the lightest one because I don't think I could do Morcant or any of the others. Whoever the lightest one is, who I do grab. Unless you guys can both grab 2 people each. I don't know if you can.
Cared when you see another one slide to the bottom of the tunnel and start walking, and the first one starts entering the water.
I'm gonna put a plant growth between us and them.
Wait 1 second before you do that. I can throw a fireball in there. That might slow them down a bit.
Okay, well, if you think that's better, then
Actually, hold on. Well, actually, I'm going to do an intelligence check. Would Vesryn think that this could cause, like, an explosion and, collapse walls in on us or not? I'm not sure if you would think that or not in the moment.
You stop Morcant from doing.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you kind of understand the principles of explosions blow things up.
On second thought, perhaps we should just go with your initial plan. If I throw a fireball in there, it could cause more destruction than necessary and collapse tunnels on us.
right, so she'll throw out her seeds and cast plant growth. So
Okay.
we now have a
And
lot of
vines and
a lot of terrain between us and them that's difficult.
yep. And
And
and the first one walks right into it and gets tangled up so quickly that it can't seem to move across it. And it starts hitting at it with its fist lumps right at the roots or the plant things. Not really paying attention to you guys at all.
and she's gonna pick up the 2 heaviest people, because when I carry it, people, they're 1 weight less.
Yeah,
Okay, so
they're
then, yeah.
So I'm carrying 2 small.
yeah.
Firbolg.
The beauty of
So-
Firbolgs.
With that, since Eslov will probably need you to carry the other 2,
Yeah.
I will take the lead and I will cast light on my rapier. And I'll pull that out so that way you guys can see. Because
Okay.
if I don't, then I'll be dealing with your axe away. It'll be a little bit harder, I think.
And you cast the spell, you start heading where?
Away from them.
Okay. So you back away and you realize the only thing back here is the hole that it seemed to have disposed of the body into. It's not a hole, it's a tunnel, but it slopes downwards.
There's nothing else in here?
Nope.
Ah, shit. How big is the chamber?
It looks like it's probably a good 6-7 feet round. And it slopes a little more of a slope than the one you came into, but not unmanageable. Just slipperier.
All right. Well, we either fight our way through those things, or we go down the hole that they're throwing the bodies down.
I feel like that wouldn't go anywhere, though. It's like,
Possibly to something else's mouth.
right. We can probably go across the plant growth. It'll just take a while. She kind of like looks over at like at the shambling things and sees them just like not, kind of just like hitting the vines unsuccessfully, I guess.
Well, they're trying to walk, and their movement is reduced to negligible.
I don't think they're gonna catch us.
Is there any place where we can head to and get by them that'll take us down a different route that we can see?
You don't think so? You could get around them. You would have to go through the plant growth, though.
Yeah. Which we'll do. We'll just have to half our speed, try to get through it. But I'm just saying, like, on the other side, is there another tunnel where we didn't come from that we can go down?
Yeah, there was the tunnel with the drag marks to it. That was the only other one you'd seen over there.
Okay, well, we can go down that tunnel or this tunnel. Both look not promising.
Flip a coin?
Flip a coin. I was just about to
Flip a
say.
coin, I suppose. This one's right here.
As you guys are like holding the bodies, I pull out a coin. Heads, the one that doesn't have drag marks. Tails, the one that does have drag marks.
Okay.
Should I flip again? It's the one with the drag marks.
Flip again.
If that's the case, then let's just go down this one.
Yeah, well, this one we have less to walk with.
Okay. And what is the order that you're heading down?
I guess I should go first since I don't have anybody.
Yeah.
And then I will I will cast light once more on his
Axe.
axe, just so if I die, you have an hour of light. That's just trying to think. Give them at least an hour to try to find another way out. Well, wish me luck, and I will try to go down it if I can. Try to climb down it. Try to, if maybe use the rope to tie onto something and try to go down it like that.
Okay, who's going second?
I think I'm gonna go down first and let them know if it's safe.
Okay.
No, I want to follow close behind Vesryn.
Okay.
But you have two bodies. You're carrying the other.
Well, I mean, they can be corrupted as this. I'm kidding.
But the reason why I'm going down first is so that way you guys don't have to worry about taking these bodies down if it's not safe.
Okay.
And then trying to find a way to get them back up.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
then we'll send you down with the rope. Anchor.
Vesryn is terrified. You can see he's sweating bullets. He's going down to this hole like, okay, here we go. And he starts. Why the
and
hell does the wizard have to go down first?
you start going down, and you realize you can get pretty decent footing. It seems fairly smooth and almost, I wouldn't call it step-like, but there's places where you can get steps. And then it sort of slopes a little bit harder. Can I get a dex save, please?
Does the rope do anything for me?
Yeah, it'll keep you from sliding further if you slide.
Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12.
12. Okay, so you start to slide and you slip off your feet and you start to slide, and suddenly the rope goes taut to those up top carrying it or holding it. Who is holding it?
I can hold it.
So you put the bodies down and you're holding it, and suddenly you're being dragged to the entrance also by the weight of his body suddenly pulling hard on you and yanking on you, and you're on a slippery ice too. Can I get a dex save from you?
That's an 8.
Okay, so you start sliding, you land on your ass, and you start to get near the entrance to the tunnel, and I'll give you another dex save to get a hold.
You got this, Dwayne. I have faith in you.
That's a 19.
Okay, whew. You get a hold
Yeah,
right at the entrance.
She'll she has the sword on her hip, so she'll just turn the sword hilt down into the ground just to kind of dig it in.
Okay.
And slow herself down and oh.
Obviously, Morcant slipped or something.
That'd be Vesryn.
She'll call down the whole. Are you alright?
I am now.
Right, good.
You do have me, yes?
Well, you almost got me, but yeah, I got you now. And then she's gonna stand up slowly and take the sword and plant it in the ground as like an anchor point.
Okay.
Whew. Vesryn just like takes a moment to breathe and make sure he has his footing, and then he'll continue to try to go down.
Yeah, so you continue down to the end of the rope, and it opens up a little bit, and then it looks like it continues down. But where it opens up, you can see the body is here that was being dragged by the creature initially when you first saw them.
I will call Soul out and have her kind of just swoop around this chamber.
It's a small chamber, and it just sort of turns, and then it starts going down another chamber. It's sort of like a platform in the tunnel, like a natural platform, not a made platform.
And I will send Soul up to let them know that it's clear. She'll like land on Dwyn's shoulder,
Okay.
and like kind of like point her head down, like it's letting you know like you can go down.
All right, it's safe. Okay. I'm going to.
Are you okay down there? You calm.
Like an echo.
Okay, so I'm gonna take one of the people, and I want to try to, like, take my cloak and, like, use it as, like, a bundle to, like, fasten the person to me, as I go down.
Okay.
So
you're going to take a little time to tie them off and stuff?
Yeah.
So, Eslov, did you go down with Vesryn? Did you follow him down?
No, I thought I was.
Are you going last?
Yeah, he wanted me to stay up.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll protect Dwyn and everybody else up there.
And
Oh my god.
what?
You're gonna make me make a check? Right?
I don't think you... No, not...
Yeah.
Did you... Okay.
Yeah, when you go down, you definitely have to make a dex check.
Nat 1.
Well, say.
Natty
Save.
1. Oh, well, I mean, still, if it's a 7. 6 total, but...
So, Eslov comes sliding down the tunnel hard and fast. And when he gets to the bottom where you're at, can you make me a dex save,
For the
Vesryn?
record,
Yep.
I had to stand right at the bottom. I couldn't have stepped off to the side.
There's a little room, but you don't know how fast he's coming.
Well, I would be in hopes that somebody would fall down. All right, well, I'm definitely moving out after this.
I am going to like do everything in my power to keep the brunt of the impact from affecting my two, I guess, passengers.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and fall on myself and not onto them.
You said dex save, yes?
Yeah, make me a dex save.
I made a 9.
Okay.
Run right into me.
Yeah, he's going to run into you. And when he hits you, can you make me 2 strength saves, Eslov?
Uh, 28, 26.
Okay, so you hold on to the 2 bodies as you and Vesryn start sliding further down the next part of the tunnel. And the 2 of you start going down another part, and it gets steeper as you go.
I'm trying to like grab on, or like just kind of slow myself down.
Right. So what you're telling me is what you're trying to do is grab onto the curved ice walls of the tunnel.
I'm trying to just grab onto anything I can get a grip on as we're sliding.
Okay.
Am I able to take one of my hatchets and bury it into the ice to try and use it as a handle?
You can try and make me a dex check to see if you can get to your hatchet.
Ah, that's an 8.
Yeah, your hatchet goes sliding out in front of you further down as you go.
I still got one more.
Hold on. Cerridwen, you hear comically and everyone and the sound of sliding. And
Wasn't
she was
she
right
in
behind.
I thought she was in between Vesryn and I.
No, she didn't go down yet.
I didn't roll, yeah.
She was,
You went
oh,
before her.
She was trapping people in place.
Oh,
And you went in between them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now I have to strap both of them down because Eslov isn't up here. So she's going to strap both of them down.
And as you finish them up, you see coming around the big rock a shambling plantish creature coming towards you.
That's my cue to go. So she's going to take the sword and the rope, and I'll cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Okay.
For dexterity. And I will try to,
Let's see.
I just get down the wall. Okay, sounds good. Dex check is 19.
Okay, so you go down and you're able to maintain some semblance of balance as you more or less walk / ski to the platform. Every now and then there's like a bump, and you catch a little air, maybe bump your head because you're so tall, and you just slide to the platform itself. Eslov, make me another dex check to see if you can grab that other axe.
there's nothing.
What'd you roll?
It's a 6.
Yep, the other axe goes sliding too, and all of you except Cerridwen and her two bodies, the people she's carrying,
Passengers.
her passengers. The rest of you slide feet first, and the tunnel opens up, and you land in this soft, cushiony poof, and there's a cloud when you land of dust that goes into the air all around you.
And that's a con save.
No con save.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we immune by now?
No.
Is this the same dust that we've been?
You don't know. It was just a kind of a dust. And
What?
And the ground was very soft and cushiony. But you also don't have any light. And Vesryn has light. When he comes through the hole right after you, doing the same thing, he has light. And you're in a big open cavern, and there are only what I could describe as bodies that have been grown over with something that looks similar to like lichen. Like plant growth all around these bodies, and they've slowly, it seems, sort of fell apart, and there still are semblances of things like a hand under them, or a part of a skull, a dragonborne or human skull, or whatever, animal bodies that it looks like they've slowly rotted and kind of collapsed on them under their own weight, and then things grew over them, this lichen-like substance. And there are little mushrooms all over the room of different types.
Eslov gags, but he keeps it in. And he's like, I don't want to be for anywhere.
What are you doing, Cerridwen? Sorry.
I'm just gonna keep going slow down the ice rink, ice slide. Just
Okay.
slow and steady.
Oh, nice. So you go from the platform, you start heading down. It's a little steeper. Can you give me a dex save?
That's a dex save is a
Yeah.
16.
Okay, so a couple times it gets really slick and it gets a little steeper, and you're able to maintain your balance even with these two other bodies. And it's a little lower here. You're even kind of like hunched to try and get through it, but you get to the bottom of it and you see the two of them landed and dug out a trough into this plant-like substance. And in the trough there are things like exposed bone and flesh of like old flesh of things that have been grown over, kind of like rotted food.
Okay.
And there's a powder in the air where they landed, and they're starting to stand up, starting to get up. What were you going to say, Vesryn?
I was going to say, you suck. That damn near killed me. Oh. Are you okay?
Eslov doesn't say anything to the first part of the question, but then he says, I mean, I'm fine. Insofar as my body goes, I mean, I don't like big. I looked at Dragonborne.
Yes, I think we should get out of this room as quickly as possible.
You need to burn this whole place.
I could do that, but I don't want to do it while we're in it.
And this is a pretty big cavernous room also. Stalactites and stalagmites, as you know, typical. But in this case, there are things that have grown up the sides of the stalactites or the stalagmites and down the sides of the stalactites. And they look kind of like toadstools growing on the sides of these things. And there are bodies massed in areas that have got things growing on them. But it's big enough that you don't see any other cave entrance or exit in the area. So you'd have to wander around to find other ways to move about.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm with Estel. Let's get out of here. She'll just kind of carefully pick her way down the wall, and then I say we just take a wall and follow it until we can find an entrance or opening, something.
Yes. So, can you lead the way? See if you can find an entrance for us.
And Soul flies around the room, and this growth is all over in here, covering the floor, matting the floor, and the floor is lumpy. As it flies, it's very obvious that the lumps are collapsed body parts, you know, where bones have collapsed as the flesh rotted, and skulls, feet, just all kinds of stuff. And she flies around, and you're not very far from another cave that seems to be fairly level. And then a little further around, not a little further, all the way on the other side of the room, there's another cave that goes up at a pretty steep angle.
Oh, did Eslov get his axes back?
His hatchets, they're just in the...
No, not really. Unless somebody else picked him up, he was just trying to get out of here.
Oh, okay.
I think Dwayne would have picked him up.
I can see Dwayne doing that. You are that kind of teammate. Like, hey, you forgot this.
Yeah, she's got like kind of a mom vibe.
Yeah,
so.
no, I was gonna say she's sort of the caretaker.
Yeah.
She is.
Kids, pick up your toys.
Yeah. So.
So what are you doing with that knowledge?
You said, yeah, I would tell them. You said there's just one way out, right? You see one.
There's
right?
two. There's one that's fairly close and seems to be pretty level, and then there's one that is pretty steep going up on the other side of the room. It's a lot wider, but it's a lot steeper.
You have to climb, and I'll tell that. There's one that's level that goes straight, and there's another one that's going up, but it will require some finesse of getting up that.
Do we have any idea if either of them lead out or just elsewhere?
I mean, I could send Soul deeper into each one for a moment, but we need to try to get out of here as quickly as possible. Who knows what this stuff will do to us if we stay here for too long.
Well, let's go to the closer one and let's just get out of the room then.
Yes, that seems fair.
Your draw please slow when you enter the hatch.
Did my camera just cut off for a second? Because my computer,
Nope.
shut down and it turned back on.
Nope.
Weird. Can each of the three of you roll me a d20 for the 3 people that you have with you?
Oh, and Eslov will thank Cerridwen for handing him the... I got a nat 20.
I got a
Nice.
1.
I got a 12 on the die.
Oh, can somebody roll for Morcant also?
Not me, I rolled bad.
Not Morgan this time.
I rolled great.
Guess what? It's another nat 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I rolled one bad roll for Morcat. Get out of here.
One bad roll is one bad roll enough, buddy.
And you lift the bodies and you kind of, it's hard to walk through the stuff because it's so soft. It like cracks under your feet, not in a way like ice, more like stepping in weak styrofoam, and it kind of crushes under your feet, and so it's kind of slow going until you get to that level area, and then it's rock. It's got ice on it, but it's definitely rock, a very thin layer of ice before you're on rock. Make me a perception check as you're getting there, as you're going there, all of you.
A dirty 20.
14.
Cerridwen, Eslov, what did you get?
20.
You hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, sorry. It's an 8, not a 20.
Yeah, Cerridwen, as you're going in, you're going last, I assume, because that's the order you were in before.
Yeah, that's fine.
You see there's another tunnel at the entrance to this thing, but above.
You know, we can go up too. She points up. Does it look like there's any light coming from there or draft or something?
No.
Do you know how to fly? 'Cause I don't have that capability. We don't really have the tools to climb that high, I don't believe.
How high is it?
It's about 20, 30 feet up.
Oh. Nope. Fresh out of luck. We're climbing. Onward.
All right. So
Are we out of all that stuff?
yeah, you are when you get onto this
I will turn around.
platformy area.
Guys, listen. If we do this, it could cause us to get smoked out. We set this shit on fire. We have no idea if... But do we want to leave it behind us?
The chaos in me says burn it.
Perhaps we go a little bit further to see if we can go out this way. And if we can, then I come back and I will burn it. I don't want to go down this hall and run into another dead end and then be stuck in smoke and die from smoke.
Yeah, okay, we'll go and check it out and send it back.
Alright. But yes, I want to burn this, very much so.
Okay.
It's not natural. I don't like to do that.
And the floor of all the places you've been, this is the only place where the floor seems relatively flat. And you walk maybe 30 or 40 feet before it opens up. And there's these, what you could only describe as stalagmites coming up from the floor. But they're made of soft material that look a lot like gigantic mushrooms, just sides wrapping up them. And there are little walkways between some of these things. And on them you see creatures that look plant-like, but unlike the others, they don't seem to be defined in the same ways that they were before. Like, they look like there was growth on humans and Dragonborne. These have caps that look like giant mushrooms and toadstools, and these really look like their own creatures.
So, question, Scott.
Yep.
Between us going down that hole and moving through this tunnel here, has it been an hour?
No.
Okay, so my comprehend languages would still be up, because remember I turned that on when we saw the thing in the hallway. All right, so perhaps if these things can communicate, we might be able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Do we want to watch them for a moment and see if they seem peaceful? Or do we want to just walk in and say, hello, we are here to...
Well, maybe we could just flag like one or two down.
I mean, if we
We'll
flag
alert
them, they might alert the rest. I mean, I'm fine either way. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page before we move forward.
I would prefer being subtle about it.
Do I hear any conversations between any of them in the distance?
No, and some of them seem to be moving with each other, but not speaking or anything. They don't even seem to have a mouth. And there are lots of these stalagmite things, but there's also pathways. Like where you're at, there are 3 pathways that head out to these stalagmite things that look like they're raised up out of the floor, which is probably 30 or so feet down.
Jeez. It's pretty deep.
Yep.
Okay. They're not saying anything. Maybe they don't use words to communicate.
So let's make a plan. Let's go ahead and see if we can walk through, not bump into any of them. Perhaps sound good, Eslov? Don't want them to take anything as, an act of aggression.
Well, that's only if they decide to keep their hands off us this time.
No. If they attack us, yes. But I mean, if they just bump into us, let's not bump back. Let's just kind of go with the flow.
Out of one of these structures, you see some very small versions of those things come out and walk along the pathways also.
I think those are children, perhaps.
Oh,
Well, when they don't seem too aggressive, they look like they are some type of culture.
seems like they're just kind of minding their own business. I don't even know if they know we're here.
Yes.
She's gonna so like there's the troop of children that came out. Did they walk by us?
No, they're out on one of the walkways, but they're not. None of them are walking over near you. They're all further out on pathways.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, well, never mind. I was just gonna stand in front of them and see if they'd walk into me or walk around me. But if they're far away, it doesn't matter. Okay, well, let's just try to walk through, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So which pathway? There's one on the left, middle, and right.
Let's go left. We haven't gone left yet.
Sure, let's go left.
Okay. And as you walk, you get out of the icy rock, and it feels like you're walking like once again on that foamy stuff, but harder. So your feet just go in a tiny bit, almost like on snow.
Okay.
A thin layer of snow, but it's not slippery like that.
Oh. Gonna look at the ground. That's interesting. Keep going.
Yeah, and you walk 40 or so feet, and you get to the first of these structures, and this pathway goes into the structure, not around it.
There like a window or a doorway we can kind of poke our head in?
It's like an opening that you can walk through.
Oh, okay.
There's no door, it's just open.
Oh. Well, let's just keep going, I suppose. There's no door or nothing, so...
Vesryn's just taking it all in, like looking around at these. I would think Vesryn would try to be studying these plant humanoid creatures, and are they just walking? Are they seeming like they're having their own, daily like routine that they're doing? Is it, or are they just moving around randomly?
To you, it would probably seem random. You don't know whether it is random or not, but they don't seem to be. Some of them will follow each other. Some will go in one direction, some another direction. Sometimes they'll converge and they'll walk together. But it's hard to tell where they're going or why. And there's not a ton of them in here that you see. Maybe 8 or 10 across the room, but the cavern. But you can't really see everything. It's a huge room.
Do any of them come near us? Do any of them seem to pay any attention to us?
No, and you get to the first of these structures, and looking in, it looks like, when you look under a mushroom, it has like those, like almost like sheets of paper.
Yeah.
It's like that inside the entry to it.
Well, this is very interesting. Eslov, have you ever heard tales of creatures like this?
I've heard stories of dead Dragonborne walking out of here, but I didn't think it'd be like this.
Mushroom people?
I wonder if these things are responsible for back there, or if they're just another plant-based humanoid creature living down here alongside that fungus.
I mean, if they're mushroom people, then they're gonna live off corpses, right?
Perhaps.
So, maybe they just collect corpses? And stockpile them? I don't know.
Perhaps they won't hurt us if we're, living and moving through. But all right, well, let's keep moving forward through the structure.
So you go through the structure, and it kind of meanders around the pathway, and you turn a corner, and you find that there's one of these creatures leaning against a wall, and sticking out of the wall is the butt and legs of something that's just dangling down, but it's been like desiccated, and growth is on it. And this thing has its, for lack of a better word, its stub hand on it, and you can see it sort of rubbing on the leg area, and parts of the flesh disappears into its hand. The flesh, for lack of a better word, because it's not really flesh at this point.
I think you're correct in your assessment.
And it doesn't seem to notice you.
Let's just leave him to his lunch.
Should we say hi and maybe see if it responds, or do we want to just keep going?
Oh, I mean, if you're gonna attack, you gotta go say hi, I guess. Do want to comprehend languages.
Yeah, I know. Hello? Do you understand me?
And there's no response. It doesn't respond at all.
Yep. Let's
Right,
just keep
well,
moving then.
let's just, leave him alone.
Have we checked on our sleeping companions? Any of them stirring? Any of them still alive?
Any of them dead?
Any of them dead from falling in that room, getting that stuff all over them?
One of them is dead.
Yeah.
It's not Amari, is it?
Disease. No.
We lost Jacopo.
Was it Yaka?
Yeah,
It
because
wa-
we only had Amari and Yeah, we had Omari and Jacopo and Morcant.
Right.
No, we had one more, I thought.
Oh no, there was one more.
Oh. And then it's that guy, it's not Jacopo.
Yeah.
It may be. Who knows?
It is that guy.
Well, let's just leave him.
We should leave him. Yeah, it's just one less body to carry. Do we want to take it out? I mean, if we leave him here, at least his body will return to the earth and provide nourishment for other things.
Yeah. I'm gonna take his stuff though, because then she can put more clothing on the people who are alive.
Yeah.
That's useful. It is less cold here.
Maybe we can find a place to camp not too far from here if there's warmth in other areas that aren't in the middle of their home.
Well, sure. Let's try to find some place that's a little off the path.
I just want to find some place to at least take a short rest to see if these people wake up.
And as you continue through, you pass this thing, and then the tunnel opens up to another passage over to another structure, a much smaller one.
Obviously, is it still open like the other one as well? It's just like pass it through?
Yep.
It's a lot smaller, so I can duck into it.
Yeah.
And as you get to it, you see that there are little insects like all along the walls on the inside. And inside there are things that look like sticks and leaves and branches that the insects are doing something to. And they are also, those sticks and leaves and stuff are also covered in a thin layer of this lumpy material.
Are we able to get through without messing with it?
Yep, you can walk right past them. Seems.
Is this kind of how the shamblers are made? Is it similar to them?
No, the shambling things look more like bodies of people of different types that have.
Might be something similar in processing, but maybe it's something to create the environment down here.
Oh, maybe.
We should keep moving without disturbing it. If we disturb it, it might cause an alarm for the things that live here, and they may become aggressive.
Yeah, we'll tread carefully.
And you come out the other side, and when you come out, there's a place where the passage splits into two other directions, one to the left, one to the right. And the one on the right splits into two more, and they continue to different structures also.
What about the one on the left?
The one on the left, just 10 feet ahead, you go into another structure.
All right, so we go left, it goes to one structure. If we go right, we have to choose another path.
It splits into two.
Oh, let's go left.
Keep it simple. I say.
Okay. And you go left, and when you get into this one, it opens up pretty wide. And there's one of these things sort of in the middle of the room, the space, just sort of standing kind of melded into the floor. And it seems to be about twice as big as the other ones.
Thing's huge. Look at that one.
Center of something.
What?
Is there any apparent reason why? Does it like it's at the center of something, or
It's in the center of the room.
is it attached to the ground?
Its leg-like things seem to go right to the ground and kind of widen out like tree stumps
Okay.
or tree,
And
you know.
can we go around it without bothering it?
Yeah, you seem to. There's room, if that's what you mean. Yes.
Well, the other one didn't really mind us walking by.
Perhaps this one won't either. Excuse us, good sir. We'd just like to get by you.
And as you're walking, this cloud of dust fills the room from the center. Can everyone make me a con save?
Ooh, that was a good roll.
20.
Dirty 20. Might be the only 20 I get tonight.
Yeah. That's a 5.
And what did you get, Eslov?
9.
Okay. So you and Cerridwen, as you're walking, the color in the room changes. It becomes much brighter and prettier. And the images of the room sort of change and morph into sort of a kaleidoscope of moving color and shape, and it's really pretty. It's enough to kind of feel mesmerizing. Can I get a wisdom save from you, from the two of you?
Another 8.
Wonderful.
Wow, that's a 7.
Vesryn, you see the two of them sort of stop moving and sort of look around and kind of move very slowly and gently.
That sounds like patting in the air, like swatting it.
Yeah, and big smiles come on them. Like
I will try to like tap them on the face, not hard, but like to wake them out of whatever stupor they're in.
He's just like you do this, and he's just laughing.
Hey man, I love you, man. You're awesome.
And then he like puts his hands up on, and it's just touching your face, and starts like doing the same thing to you, like it's some kind of game.
And as you go to touch his face, you realize you're touching the face of this thing that's in here, and it's smiling at you with a big like mushroomy face, and it says to you, "Why are you here?" And you hear that and see that too, Cerridwen. It's like, how weird. This thing actually has a voice, and it's so funny sounding. Like,
Oh, you sound funny.
yes, I have so few friends come. Why have you come, friends?
Just to see you.
Yeah.
Oh,
These
man.
colors are so great.
What are you guys saying? Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about it.
It's fine, Vesryn. Don't worry about it. This guy's alive.
He's a stiff. Don't just. All right.
You should stay for the party later. It will be only us.
Well, that's what we came for.
You do not come for
I know how to party.
I'm trying to drag them. I'm trying to drag them, keep them moving, because I don't know what's going on, and they look like they look like they're hallucinating.
Have you ever had mead?
And they're kind of stumbling towards the center of the room to this thing in the middle, and they seem to be incapable of just walking in a straight line at this point.
Yeah. So they're just trying to guide them back.
Cerridwen drops the bodies that she's carrying.
Oh, so heavy.
They don't matter.
Oh, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna hit her harder. I'm like snap out of it, trying to. Does it do anything? I'm like,
that was the best.
That's a buzzkill.
Vesryn is a buzzkill.
Always like this.
Vesryn.
That's just the life of the party.
Vesryn, as they're walking closer, their feet are sort of sinking a little deeper into the.
Like I said, I'm trying to pull them back. I'm
Yeah,
I'm literally pulling them back.
Yeah, you pull Cerridwen back, and then Eslov's going
I'm
a little
gonna-
further forward, but his feet sort
Yeah.
of like sink into this mycelium-like stuff, just like halfway up his shin, but he's okay. He's good. He's laughing and really enjoying his time.
What's
Did
your
it
name?
look
What's your
like
name,
they
big
talk?
man?
I see them talking to this thing, right, in the center.
Yes.
I will turn to it and I say, I don't know if you can understand me, but you better release my friends from whatever you have on them, or I will burn us all in here alive.
And you're able to pull Cerridwen back out. And Cerridwen, you hear it say, "Do you wish to stay forever?"
To me?
Yeah.
Oh,
You could so become part of everything here.
I feel like I feel like the feelings would compel her to stay. She'd be like, yeah, I mean, if I get to see colors like this all the time and feel this great.
And Eslov, the colors just get more intense, and as you're what you think is walking forward, you kind of get a little tired, and you're like, your feet get very heavy. You know, like maybe you need a rest or something, but you know, it's hard to tell.
Do you mind if I lay down, take a nap right here? When's the party start? I can join me.
Shortly, you just need a rest, a little break.
I do need a rest.
Oh, we'll make sure the colors
I'm like
keep
picking it, like,
on.
no, not here, over here, and I'm pulling it back to rest over there, like.
And you put Cerridwen down and you go to get Eslov, and Cerridwen is once again free to move. And you pull on Eslov. Eslov is trying to lay down, and as he lays down, like the ground kind of softens where he's at to make a very cushy, like laying down spot, a little bed area. But you're able to pull him out. He's not really able to resist very much. And
Come on, Vesryn.
And Vesryn, you feel this weird sensation when this stumpy thing reaches over your shoulder. Can you make me an initiative roll, please, Vesryn?
All right, here we go. This is I'm rolling here.
Wow.
12, 13, 14, 15.
You feel like pressure of these hands kind of, I wouldn't call them hands, sort of stumpy lumps kind of reaching over and kind of like putting weight on you. Not as much weight as you'd think from their size. And it just seems to be like trying to pull you off of your friends that you're trying to pull around. And you realize this is like one of those things you'd seen upstairs, not like the things you had seen in here.
That's it. I'm going to go Dragon Breath at 3rd level. And I am going to start breathing fire on shit around in here.
Okay.
You guys want to fuck with my friends and try to kill them? All right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if they lay down, they're dead. These things are going to do what those things were doing in the other room. So Vesryn's just going to, like, he's panicked. All of his friends are either paralyzed or talking to some strange shit as this thing's now grabbing me, trying to pull me off of them.
Yeah.
Flame breath on plants in here.
Okay, so there's 2 of those things behind you. The one's trying to pull you down, and then there's the thing in the middle of the room that's, mounted to the middle of the room, it seems, like stuck there.
I'm hitting that thing. I'm hitting the thing mounted in the middle of the room.
Okay,
I'm hitting him directly.
So you do your dragon's breath, and it can't move.
Yeah.
So
no dex
roll to
saver?
hit. Roll to hit with advantage.
Oh, it's a DC. It's a dexterity.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it won't make it. It can't make that.
Yeah, dropped 1. I keep dropping dice. All right. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13. Okay.
As I hit it with fire breath.
And when you do, the dust in the air crackles and pops. and it does 4 points of damage to everybody in the room as it sort of explodes around the whole room, just the dust.
Release my friends.
And the thing takes damage, and suddenly, Vesryn, you see Eslov and Cerridwen's eyes just widen quickly.
Oh.
And both of you are in the middle of this, near the middle of this room, halfway sunken into this flooring, weird floor, and suddenly you're not seeing colors anymore. You're just seeing this weird plant thing in the middle, and there's fire in the air that wraps around you for a moment, but you're awake.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to get off the ground.
Yeah, your legs, the shins of your legs are kind of sunken in. You gotta pull them out. It doesn't require a strength save or anything, but it takes a moment to do. It takes an action to get free.
Okay, I'll action pull myself out.
Right.
And then can I try to pull up one of the NPCs or Morcant?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull one up, throw on my shoulder.
The nearest one to you is Morcant.
Okay, I'll grab Morcant.
Okay. You see, Vesryn, you see Cerridwen grab, wake up from this thing quickly, yank her legs free from, whatever had wrapped around it, and she immediately jumps to action. Eslov, you, your eyes open and you realize you're right up against this thing, but you're part of your legs and butt are sort of stuck in the stuff, and you have to also tear yourself out.
One thing I didn't get to say for my turn real quick. For a bonus action, I would have done my blade song.
Okay.
First time I've used that. I feel like we might need it in here.
Yeah, where's Omari? Does Eslov see Omari?
Omari is back behind Vesryn.
Okay, so she's safe right now?
She's being dragged away by one of the mounds.
Oh, fuck no. Eslov's gonna fight whatever he's been thinking. And then, how many times do I have to rage before the rest of it?
You can rage again.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I think you have 4 or 5 rages. You
Yeah,
have
I have a couple.
3 rages. You have 3 rages.
I'm gonna do that. I'll roll a d8.
Yep, roll me a d8.
3.
3. Okay, so when you do that, it feels like a cold burn from your back, and suddenly you feel this thing form from your back, and there's a mephit there made of ice. And it looks at you, and its hands become daggers, and it starts, it turns its back to you and starts looking at things around and moves forward to attack something.
Is that him?
Wait, what did you say it was?
It looks like an ice mephit.
Oh, it looks
An
like
ice muppet.
one of those things we saw earlier. Okay.
Yes. An ice muppet
Eslov
mephit.
is too angry. He's gonna try and kill the thing that's touching Omari.
Yeah. So you rage at it. Let's get initiatives for you and Cerridwen.
14.
That's a 10.
Okay. So at the bottom of the initiative, this thing in the center of the room, it starts growing appendagey things that look like they have spiky ends, and they kind of reach out quickly from the center body, and they strike it at, let me see who they go after. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of them goes after Vesryn. One of them goes after Eslov. And Vesryn, you get hit. Actually, what's your AC right now?
20, and if it's gonna hit me still, I would use shield.
No, you don't get hit. I remember you always have that up. So yeah, you don't get hit. You get missed pretty closely, but missed. And Eslov, you get missed pretty badly by these tentacly things with a spike on the end of them.
Is that coming from the thing in the center of the room?
Yes. So top of the order. Oh no, the shambling bodies. One of they're trying to carry the body. They are carrying bodies away from the middle of here. Let me see how far they get. Okay. All right. Vesryn, you had a 15, right?
Yes, 15.
All right, 15.
All right. Looking at this, you guys will see Vesryn. All of a sudden, he draws his sword as the fight begins, and he almost looks like there's like a little bit of a blur to him as his movements kind of quicken, and he is like moving around, almost like it's a rhythmic dance, as he has his blade drawn, and he is looking at these things. And I'm going to hit that thing in the center again with the dragon breath, since I already have it up.
Okay. And it cannot make its dex save.
Oh wow, that was a good one there. I rolled 10, 15, 17 points.
Ooh, that is a good one. All right, 14, Eslov.
Alright, so going straight for the one that's touching Omari.
Okay. Go for it.
For 20.
Yeah, 20 hits. No problemo.
17 damage. Actually,
Nice.
favorite foe would be 18 damage.
Okay. It takes the damage and it continues dragging Omari away as much as it can. Cerridwen.
I'm gonna go and try to grab one of the reclaim one of the NPCs. I'm gonna go and try to reclaim Jacopo.
Okay.
Because he's being dragged away. I'm trying to just take him away.
So you're trying to yank it from the
Yeah, I'm trying to
shambling
yank
creature.
him free. Yeah.
What's your strength?
14.
And you pull it free. You're able to pull it off of it. And then 10. And then those two shambling things will attack. One of them will attack Eslov. Let's do that one first. What's your AC?
15.
And it misses terribly. And the other one attacks Cerridwen. What's your AC?
12.
It still missed. That was pretty sad. It was close.
A little slow.
They are slow and pretty inaccurate. And then the other one in the middle with the two tentacles. They both miss. All right. So you're in the room here, and there's a movement in the ground, like a rumble. Back to the top of the order. Vesryn, what are you doing?
You need to get your friends so we can leave. And I will hit the thing in the center again with another fire breath from the dragon.
Okay. Oh, I can't roll.
5, 10, 13. 13 more fire to it. and then I will begin moving around it towards the exit, like trying to lead the way.
And as you get to the exit, you see that there are more of these shambling things walking along different pathways, the various pathways in here.
Shamblers are coming.
Eslov.
I mean, he's going to continue attacking the one that's on Omari.
Okay. Roll a hit. It's a
22 damage.
What did you roll to hit?
That was 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, 22, 36. And it drops. It collapses and it falls off the side of the walkway and falls into the darkness of the pit.
Were you able to get Mari?
Cerridwen, not carrying it, Omari.
Oh, okay.
So, is there a pathway beyond this giant mushroom in the middle of the room, or do we have to backtrack
Yes.
out? Okay,
No, there's a pathway.
All right, so we're trying to go, assume that direction. Okay.
Okay. So, if you're going to go that direction, and you're carrying people, you'll start heading that way.
Yeah.
As you're leaving this space, it's going to take an opportunity attack on you.
That's fine. She will just try to book it out of there.
Okay. And it hits.
Okay.
You don't want.
What?
I was gonna say, you don't want to use your action to disengage, or are you just going to use your full action to move?
Oh, I was gonna use my action to
To
dash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm moving slower.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
You take 4 points of damage as this spike like buries into you somewhere on your body and stings, and you continue moving, and you get past it.
Get out of there.
All right. The shambling mound thing on Eslov. It misses. And the middle creature. It hits you, Vesryn.
I
With
will
his
use
20
shield.
AC?
I will use shield, which will put me at a 25.
Okay, it won't hit you with the shield. Okay.
All right,
All right.
knock the shield off.
Yeah, that's good you have that.
Yes.
You are hard to hit. That's good.
He is hard to hit, especially when he
Yep.
goes into his dance.
Yep. Okay, so we're back to the top. Vesryn, what are you doing?
Will they be able to get to me this turn? Get to the exit this turn?
You think Vesryn you'll think Cerridwen will get to the other side in one turn, yes. And you could too.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering if Eslov is moving towards us, or if he's still like fighting like a lunatic, not moving from this tunnel.
So far, he's fighting like a lunatic.
I will yell, Eslov, I don't know if you can hear me in that head of yours right now, but you need to move towards us. I'm going to light this place up. And then I'm going to try to hit this thing one more time with the dragon breath, and then move towards the exit.
Do your damage.
16.
Okay. And this is the first time that it took the fire, and this time little bits of it actually caught flame and started actually burning. It's like everything's very wet or moist, so it's hard to get it to take flame, but after a couple of times it's dried out the edges of it. So you do that and you move past.
Yep.
Eslov, what are you doing?
Around. Takes a swing at the one that's attacking. Like he's swinging a baseball bat. Just this really big roundhouse swing.
Okay.
Just one.
Do it. Oh.
Actually, no. 29 damage.
Oh, yeah. It drops. And the little methody thing, it goes to the center thing and it stabs at it with its ice daggers.
And Eslov's going to start fucking moving towards the thing in the center.
6. And the method stabs it and the daggers bury into it. Cerridwen, you're on the other side of the room and it opens up to another passageway
Hey.
that goes to another one of these kind of structures, but a smaller one. To and through, it looks like.
She's gonna. Okay, so what she'll do is she'll go to the structure in front of her and look around. Is anything in this new structure?
It's like the first one where it was just a pathway with like walls and you don't see any creatures in it.
Is the floor the same? Like, if I put the NPCs down and Morcant down, like, do I think that they would, like, start being absorbed into the floor again?
No, it's not like that.
Okay, so she'll just kind of like put them in this, like, new little structure and kind of hide them a little bit and then go back to the other room.
Okay. So as you're heading back, Vesryn you see is coming out of that structure following you.
Where's Eslov?
And then I'm like, Haku, which is Elvish for idiot. Like, he's trying to fight the damn thing still. I told him to come. I'm trying to light this place up, but he's slowing the process down, and he's going to get overrun by shamblers if he's not careful. They're coming. I can see them.
And that's true. There are more coming.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to try to yell at him?
I'm gonna go into the room, and she's gonna try to pick up Augury.
Okay.
And
Wait.
Well, Omar's on the other side of the room.
okay, well, I'll get as far as I can then.
Okay. All right. What are you doing, Eslov? You're in the room with the
Well,
spiky thing.
when he sees Cerridwen moving towards Augury, he's going to scream at her. Say, Roar Hemegenta. Which would mean, don't touch her. You're not. And then he takes it's my turn, right? He takes a swing at the thing in the center.
Do I get a turn this turn as well?
Yeah, you will.
Okay.
Another reckless attack.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit.
Yep. How much damage did you do?
Yes, love.
Not hear me? Sorry.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
you.
This mic is fucking. Sometimes it picks up some team damage.
14?
14.
Yeah, 14.
Okay.
Okay. And when you strike, you hit hard enough that you feel your axe bury into something almost wood-like on the middle of this thing. And when it does, there's a puff of dust that pours out of this thing into the air. Can you make me a con save, please?
And 20.
Okay.
26 total.
All right.
Start with me.
Vesryn, or Cerridwen, what are you doing?
Oh wait, I didn't go this turn. You did Dwyn, and then you skipped me, and then you did him. So
It's Vesryn's turn.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
When I saw that, I would have turned back. When I saw that she was running back in there on her turn, I would have turned back behind her, moved up enough to hit this thing again. I'm just going to keep hitting it, and try to give them support so they can get Eslov out of here, because he's going to keep fighting this thing. I feels like until it goes down.
Okay. Hit it.
9, 10, 11, 12, 14.
Yep, that hits.
And I will just stay there until they make it past me.
What are you hitting it with?
Dragon breath?
The breath?
Dragon breath. No, the dragon breath. Yeah.
Oh,
It's 14,
yeah, okay.
14 fire damage.
14 damage, okay.
I mean, it's a constant thing. I might as well use it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't know if you're using one of your blades.
No.
Using a blade.
I'm not trying to get near that thing. It's popping up smoke.
It's just smoke. Just a cloud of dust. All right, now Cerridwen. Sorry. Because we had done Eslov first.
What I want to do is I want to cast Earth Tremor, and I want to hit the Shamblers and Eslov.
Nice.
Okay.
So Eslov needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
What's the DC?
14.
15.
It's such a weird material.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The Shamblers, if they fail, they'll take
Yeah.
some damage.
Yeah, and 2 of the 3 failed. There's a third one coming in, so it's in the area. Yeah, they'll take a d6 of bludgeoning each. You can roll the damage.
So they'll take 4 points of damage and be knocked prone, those that fail.
Yeah.
And then the ground becomes difficult terrain until cleared.
Yeah. Actually, the 2 that go prone, they need to make a dex save or fall off. One of them falls off.
Good.
Nice.
Okay.
Can you hear me right now?
Now we did. A second ago, I saw you talking that wasn't coming through.
I hate this microphone. I get it reversed. Do I take half damage?
You don't take any damage because you saved.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
The 2 that failed their save, how much do you say they take?
4 damage.
4.
I'm using my laptop microphone now. I'm done.
Okay.
It is better.
It's better.
It is better.
It's more consistent.
It doesn't sound as good. That's okay. Oh well. I'll deal with it.
All right. Their turn. So the Shambler that did not fall or go prone, it attacks Eslov. It misses Eslov. The creature in the middle of the room both attack Eslov. What's your AC right now?
15.
Oh, no, they both miss. Close, but no cigar.
He is doing well.
Yeah. And the creature in the middle, you can see there's exposed like a woodiness to the inside. Cerridwen and Vesryn. Eslov, he did that with his axe a little while ago, but he's still attacking and being attacked and kind of not paying attention to those details necessarily. But that's where there's like this cloud of dust floating out of is from that wound. Back to the top. Eslov, what are you doing?
Does this thing have like a...
What?
Excuse me, sorry. Does this thing have like a head or something?
It has a top that looks kind of like a mushroom cap.
Oh, he's gonna bring the axe down on top of it.
Well, it's pretty high up.
How tall is it?
You'd have to jump probably to get up there.
Yeah, it's like the room.
That would actually be cool.
It has the exposed heart thing, though. Like, woody centered. Natural 20.
The dice are with me tonight.
They really are. That's your third one.
Sweet.
I know. It's nuts.
All right. Yep. Do it. Oh, and your method also attacks.
22 damage.
And
I have a
method
switch
does
dice.
one.
These ones are too strong this week.
And your method defender also gets a one hit in. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does some. Vesryn. Did you go Vesryn? Oh yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't go. No.
God damn it! I skipped
thought
you
I-
again, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I was gonna say, I was like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I had it
No.
backwards. But
No, I skipped you. You can
Right
go.
back.
I'll let you go.
You're allowed.
All right. So you said we could see like its chest, like its heart.
You can see like a woody center to this thing.
Does the fire seem to be doing more to it now? Now that like the wetness is gone, or is it just still like normal?
Yeah, it
wetness?
seems to be holding a singe and burning the edges of it, rather than just sort of making fire in the room and going away.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it again with the. It makes sense. I'm gonna hit it. He's not moving, and
Yeah.
I have the dragon breath up. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 that time. 12 fire.
Cerridwen. You see
Are
it,
there...
fire blasts in it at it. It singes its edges, and there's like little parts of it that are burning now.
So much for subtle. Are there more shamblers in front
Yes,
of me?
there's
All right, I want
one.
to grab the one and try to throw it off the edge.
Okay, make me a strength check. A strength save against its strength. Oh.
That's a 15.
Yeah, that's enough.
Cool. I grab it and I just hurl it off the edge.
It goes over the edge. That one's out.
Okay. And Eslov is now preoccupied with the mushroom and the metal.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up Amari.
Okay, you can get more. And the thing in the middle is going to attack Eslov twice. And miss twice.
Damn, this thing's not having any luck.
No,
A,
it's
ni-
not.
a 9 and a 4. I mean, it's.
Like somehow I've sapped.
I've rolled terrible, but I mean there's enough other things doing doing nasty stuff. I don't need to be just throwing points. Back to the top, Vesryn.
All right.
I got it right.
Yes, you did. All right, so Vesryn will once again. He's gonna take a blow out. All right, that's 10, 16 that time.
And you hit it with the fire, and there's like this burning kind of an explosion out of the center of it, and the thing just and explodes from the center out, throwing just bits of this mushroomy-like substance all over the room. And
Can we go now?
Yes, it's very dead.
Eslov looks around and he sees Cerridwen with Omari. And he stomps up to her and like goes to take Omari from Carol.
And your method attacks her because it thinks you're attacking her.
Does it?
Yeah. What's your
do I have a choice?
AC? Well, when you go to like attack her, it's attacking where it thinks you're attacking.
No, he's not attacking. He's just trying to get Omari.
Oh, but you're not. Are you grabbing and stuff or trying to?
I mean, he like goes to like hold his arms out.
Okay. I'm gonna give it an intelligence check. It's not very intelligent, but maybe smart enough. Okay. And Cerridwen, you see this ice method flying at you with a dagger. What are you doing?
Do I get a reaction?
Yeah, you can react if you want.
Can I like hit it with the flat of my axe?
Sure. Sure.
Just like just smack out of the air.
Yeah. And it stops. And it doesn't continue attacking. But it looks like bloodthirsty like you, like icy bloody thirst in its eyes, just angry-eyed method.
Oh, look, it's a little mini Eslov. Can we please go? Please. Before more of these things come.
There's like this just silence, and then Cerridwen hands you Omari.
Yeah, he glares at her for another second, then he walks off.
And where are you walking off to?
To wherever Vesryn is, or wherever they're trying to get him to go.
Oh, okay. So you're exiting out the same way that they had previously exited out. And you're starting to gain your composure a little, maybe. Or maybe not. And you see another...
Yeah, he definitely does.
Okay. And you get to this next structure, and it's very similar to the first one. There's a tunnel through it, and there are two bodies in there. There's Jacopo
And Morcant.
And Morcant, yeah.
I would probably wait for Dwin to walk towards me after Eslov went stomping past, and I would stop her. Like, you did the right thing. His rage is blinding him.
I know. I just don't know how to talk to him about it yet. I don't know if I should punch him in the face or if I should just talk to him back. You know what I mean?
I think either would work just fine. So, whichever you prefer, I will support you in it.
Well, punching has worked in the past. She like thinks back how many times I've punched him in the face.
He respects the punch
The
in the
be-all,
face.
end-all solution for Eslov problems.
Just punch him in the face. I'll hold off the punch until we get out of here.
And you get to the bodies and pick them up, and you head through this structure, and it opens up on the other two, to the right and to the left. To the left, it seems to go to a cave area. To the right, it goes into more structures, like these
I'm
fungal
just ready to go
structures.
left. I want to get out of here.
Sure, whatever way is fine. I want to get out of here too. Is there one that looks like it goes up?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it goes level, at least at the beginning.
Well, let's just get as far as we can away from here, because he probably just killed its leader, so... Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know if those shamblers are going to continue or if they will become mindless without him, but I don't want to wait around to find out.
Me neither.
And you all head to that tunnel entrance, and you head in, and inside there's a little bit of like a fogginess in the room, and it's cold again, colder than it had been for a little while. And can I get a wisdom save from everybody?
Shit.
No, this does suck.
11. My luck is
Yeah! Okay, that's a 22.
18.
Okay. Eslov, when you get in, as you're stepping forward, it feels harder and harder to move forward. The other two of you hear somebody speaking to you. You come to our home to bring fire.
I brought the fire, and it's because you would not let my friends go. I warned you multiple times. I did not wish to do this. We tried to pass peacefully, but your people were trying to grab and pull my companions. I defended myself, and I defended my people.
You defended your people against
Your people
visions.
There were visions and pulling them down into the ground. No explanation. Nobody was talking. What am I supposed to think?
You should think that it was a melding and our minds could unify.
Why? And what does that mean to our bodies? Did you ask if we want to meld without corrupting and giving illusions in their minds? You contaminate their thoughts and then you trick them into doing what you wish. That is not how you should do things.
They should wish to do what we wish.
Ah, see there. That's the problem. You think that they should do what you wish, not what they wish.
Their minds would be freed of the constraints of their body.
We do not want that. Which is why I burned them, and I will burn you if you wish to try to stop us.
Eslov, make me a wisdom save.
Another one?
Yep.
This one's even worse. This one's a 5.
I don't believe you should pass through here any longer. Where are you trying to go?
He's talking to me?
No, it's talking to the two of them.
Okay.
We're trying to get outside of the mountain to the north, right? It's the north is where we're trying to get to, right? The northern side of the mountains?
I think so.
Whatever side, whatever direction we were trying to get out, that's what I would state.
I do not know what north is.
Well, just tell us where to go to get out in this direction. And free our friends. Can I look around to see if any of the people with us are waking up?
They're not yet.
And Eslov's been quiet. Do we notice anything about him?
He seems to be not moving much.
I'll nudge to win to look at Eslov while I'm talking to this thing.
I look at Eslov.
Eslov is standing still, like he's concentrating.
Eslov never concentrate.
Do I know what I'm concentrating on?
You're not concentrating, except maybe to try and make your muscles move.
Oh, okay. That probably looks more constipated than anything.
I'm just
Time.
gonna shake his shoulder. Eslov?
And I guess those is grunts.
You
Kind
can
of
do that.
like an exhausted kind of grunt, I guess.
You want us to leave, so do we.
You may pass safely the way you came. Your companion will be okay when he leaves this room. He is weakened by his weak mind.
So we have to go all the way back through everything, is what you're saying.
What? That doesn't make sense. Isn't there a closer exit?
Yes.
There are many exits in the caves here.
And we want to go out this direction. I am not a weak mind, and I possess fire.
No, if we just go back that way, we might come back this way anyway.
We don't know where we're going. We don't want to go around in circles. So if you can tell us how to go out in this direction...
I will show you. And the fog clears, and there's this mushroomy thing that is about 25 feet tall, and it starts walking towards you, and it says, "You may follow me. You will be untouched by my family." And its legs just sort of, and instead of like a boom when they hit, they're more like the bottoms of them sort of little tendrils kind of lock onto the ground gently each step. It doesn't move really fast at all. And it moves forward and it leans really low to get out of this cave. And in this cave, there are other things like him, but smaller, more like the ones you'd seen in the structures.
Vesryn. Now I'm doing it. Vesryn will kind of turn to Dwyn and be like, "I'm so glad he went for that, because I really didn't want to have to fight anything else down here."
We can leave? Great. I only got half that conversation.
And it walks all the way through the structure. I mean, it takes a shorter route than you had taken, because there's other routes walking through here. And it goes back to the entrance where you had come in. It seems like this was kind of a dead end in here. Mm-hmm. And it goes back up. And it goes up through the cave you had come in. And then it sort of, I wouldn't say oozes through, but kind of squeezes through the caves you had come in through. And it goes back where the little river run was. And its arm shape points at the hole with the marks in the ground.
The Tunnel of Death is where we're supposed to go.
Oh, so the Tunnel of Death. Good to know. Where things try to claw and not go down. That's what he's wanting, or this thing wants to send us.
Avoid the beast. The beasts.
So helpful. Thank you.
What did it say?
And it sort of starts shambling back.
I will say one. I do feel sorry that we had to come to blows. I wish there was more of a peaceful solution without mind melding. I wouldn't have to harm you, or you harm us.
Any you leave behind will join us.
Talking about we have our friends, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We have the two NPCs and Morcant. We didn't leave any of them, right? We have them.
Yep.
I know we left Eslov because he wasn't moving. We left him in the cave, right?
No. No, once the fog lifted, he was able to move again.
I was just teasing. All right, well, the rest are no use to us. That's fine.
And it walks back where it had come and leaves you there. What are you doing?
Well,
Guess we're going down. She just makes a face like, I really don't want to.
yeah. You know, it's funny, though. When we flipped the coin, it landed on this tunnel, and we chose to go the other way. So that states, as fate told us the right direction to go, we chose to ignore it.
Let's just go down. Just like... And is it a straight shot down, or is it like sloped? I don't remember. It's like slope.
It slopes pretty hard.
Okay.
You might be able to not go down like a slide if you like use daggers and hatchets and whatnot to kind of catch on the walls.
Yeah, I don't have a dagger or hatchet. I traded my only dagger.
Oh, I'll get one out.
I have the sword, so I guess we'll just kind of like plant that and slide.
But you have the rope too. You know,
Yeah.
you can kind
The
of
rope.
spelunk it
Actually,
down.
Right now, I probably wouldn't get one of those.
You wouldn't do what?
Never mind.
He wouldn't give a hatchet to Vesryn.
Oh.
Are you mad at Vesryn? Oh.
Not particularly. He's just like, he's being quiet and he's being reserved.
It's like, I saved your life, damn it. Oh man, that shit scared the shit out of me, both in and out of character.
You hear him mutter to himself every so often.
Okay. Do I hear you mutter what you're muttering, or just
No, I mean,
general
it's-
muttering?
General muttering.
Do you want to talk to him before we go down, Dwayne? This might
Kind
be
of
the
mad at
time.
him.
I mean, we could all fall to our deaths, and you'll never get to let him know how mad you are. I'm just saying this might be the perfect opportunity, but if we wish to go forward, that's your choice.
Wait, you could also talk to him. Like, what's your problem?
Vesryn and Eslov here, we don't generally get along. The two of us, like Eslov, you know, I mean, we don't hate each other, but, you know, he has a better relationship with you than he does with me, I would say. And I think that's a fair assessment, wouldn't you?
She's just gonna like sigh and be like, Eslov, there's something on your mind.
He gives like a big sigh. Like he breathes in for like a whole 2 seconds, and then he breathes it all out. And he's like, I think it'd be better to talk about it over a fire.
Before we go down, we could rest here.
I mean, is anything coming again?
What did you say?
I don't believe it's coming. It doesn't want anything to do with us after we set its people on fire. But I would suggest we go back across the water and do it over there, because it might be safer away from the pit of doom, per se.
Do we even have anything to burn?
We still had some firewood left afterwards. We just didn't have enough
okay.
And a couple fur hats.
Yeah, we do have fur hats. We could burn one.
Plus, if we do the short rest, maybe our companions will wake up, and we don't have to carry them down a hole.
Okay. You go and build a fire.
You build a fire of what little stuff you have still left. Make one fire.
Firebolt.
Take a short rest.
There's your fire, Eslov, if you wish to. I could step away if you would prefer to talk to Dwin alone.
It smells terrible, the burning fur.
Ugh.
But it's warm. Can I get a dice roll for Jacopo and Omari, please? And Morcant? Just tell me what you roll for each.
We each roll one?
A what?
All right, then I'll roll for Morcant, and you can roll for Jacopo.
Okay.
We can't see it.
I know. I hate this filter sometimes, but it's a 20 again.
Okay.
Big surprise.
Is this a saving throw? Do I need to add anything to it?
Nope, just roll it.
Okay, I
Just
rolled an
roll.
11. I rolled 11 for Morcant.
Okay.
Am I rolling for Jacopo then?
Yes.
Oh, I got a 3.
Okay. So they're all still out, and Morcant and Jacopo suddenly throw up, and their eyes roll back in their heads. And can you give me a Constitution save for each of them? The two of them, not Olmari.
18.
That's a 5. Jacopo's gonna die. He's running this far.
And Jacopo, starts coughing up blood. Blood starts coming out of his mouth. And you can feel his pulse slow quite a bit.
No, it brought us so far.
He's not dead.
I'm gonna just... No, she wants to do something, so she'll cast Healing Word on him because she can't do anything else.
Okay.
If only our cleric was awake.
Yeah, that would be helpful. So, he actually gets 7 points.
Nice.
Points of health, if that matters.
That makes you feel better about it. And you rest. And you take care of Jacopo and the rest of them while everyone gets a rest in. And what do you do after your rests?
I'm going to recover a spell.
We'll use a hit dice during our rest. Because the health back.
Me as well.
When you finish your rests, you see that Olmari and Morcant are actually moving for the first time in quite a long time. They're not standing or anything, but you can see their eyes are blinking and they're seem to be a little awake, but still very sore and stiff for whatever reason. But Jacopo is not in that position, still unconscious, and there's still more blood that's come up around his mouth that has been cleared off or what have you, but still alive. You only have to carry one more body.
Yeah.
The other two seem to be coming out of this.
Well, I guess we'll wait till they can actually move around and then head down the hole. Maybe Morcant has something he can do for Jacopo. I don't know if he does.
If he spends time to prepare a different spell, like Lesser Restoration, then he could do that.
But we'd have to do a long rest for that, right? Can you do it on a short rest? I don't know if he can.
No.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That well.
Yeah, I don't know either. So probably not. It's probably like all the other casters. It has to be on long rest. I'm betting. But let me know if I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong.
I've oddly not played a caster that prepares spells. They just have them. Okay.
What had he cast before?
Whoa, what do you mean? What did he cast before?
Yeah, he has now had a rest. He had a short rest.
Yeah, we have the previous set of spells that Brandon had prepared, and then I just said I want create food and water prepared.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He has mostly
does.
damage spells.
Yeah.
He does.
Inflict wound, stun thunder wave, gust of wind, hold person, prayer of healing,
He's our
shatter,
combat cleric. He's not a healing
Yeah.
cleric. He's a
Yeah.
combat
call
cleric.
lightning, water walk.
All right. Well,
I could have him create food and water.
which yeah, we would probably want to do that since it's the first time we get a chance to sit down and drink and eat since we've been.
Yeah,
in the cave.
so we'll have him cast that.
Yeah. So he does. You have food and water, although you have water in the stream, but the food is really important.
Can he make the water not as cold, the one he's making? Trying to drink
I
ice
mean,
water?
we also wouldn't be worried about whether or not that water is safe to drink.
Yeah.
That's true. For all we know, it's going right through that fungus place and just bringing all kinds of fungi with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you all rest up. The fire starts to fade as the last little bits of the fur and material you had left burns out.
Well,
And what?
I guess the fire.
And your last
I'm
warmth.
gonna just ask Morcant to cast Spare the Dying on Jacopo to see if he'll do anything. Sure.
But I hope it does, but it would suck. Poor Jacobo. We fought so hard to keep his butt alive.
Yeah.
See if it will do it on this.
Ironically, the captain did not go down with the ship. Everybody else did. And she's the only one that
That's
survived.
true.
Only one that survived.
That means she's a bad captain.
Yeah.
Uh,
He does.
you-
And it doesn't seem to make him come to or anything. Even if he was below, he would have been brought to 0. But it doesn't seem to be that kind of suffering.
Just have to keep an eye on him for now. And take him with us.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to go down the pit of doom? Sorry, I keep calling it that, but I don't know what else to call it.
It's basically the pit of doom. Does anyone need healing?
I'm ready to roll.
Right.
So you
So,
do
well,
what?
as I say, are we going to talk, Eslov? We have the fire, so...
This is not the fire that I meant a roaring fire with honey wine and meat.
Means when we're out of here.
What'd you say?
He means when we're out of here.
Karen's right. It's not the time though.
Just saying, say your piece. This may be our last times. So let's go. I'm sorry if what I'm saying offends you. I see your faces. You're not happy with what I'm saying, but I just walked through the room and I watched everybody with me all slump down or become mesmerized by some creature, and I was about to be alone in the Underdark here. So yes, I feel that it's very possible that we could all die at any moment down here. Pardon me if I'm not as hurrah, let's get to the next fire. I'm just trying to get out of this hole.
I understand that.
And for the
I
record,
was
Esther,
just thinking about how we're gonna get down the hole. That's all. It's just like,
and for the record, Eslo, I am not a party pooper. I am definitely somebody who is a lot of fun. If you remember, I'm almost always the one drinking with you at the pub.
He gives a very small smile at that, but he goes back to being grumpy.
So, we have a rope, and most of us are awake. We could use the rope. We have weapons to crawl down with, so there's several ways we can get down.
yeah. Right.
So how are you going down?
Though.
I can hold the rope and hold myself with the sword in the ice. And you guys can use the rope to get down, and then
Okay.
I'll come down after them.
I'll send Soul down fast with you. So that way you have a little bit of light down there with you, but also maybe she can prepare us for something if there's something to be worried about. You know, I don't feel comfortable just sending you down into a dark hole.
Well, I mean, I was gonna be the anchor, so I'd be the last one.
Oh, I thought you were going down fast. Sorry.
But I can. That's fine.
No. That's. I mean.
No, I think she was going to hold the rope for you guys and you plant the sword so she doesn't slide.
Yeah.
I thought she meant she was like planning and going down, like slowly using this. That's what I was.
Oh, I see that. No, she's gonna like hold the rope for you guys, and then
that makes more sense.
She can. Yeah, because I can cast enhance ability on myself and give myself the best shot at getting back down.
All right. I'm gonna cast light once again on his axe. So that way it's on his back, but at least it's light as he's going down to a light source. And then I will send Soul down first, just so she can get a good look down there.
Okay. So Soul, the tunnel is a little wider than the other ones you've had to deal with, and it goes down for a bit and then it levels off pretty nicely before a big curve. And after this big curve, it opens up to a huge cavern with an ice-covered bottom, maybe an ice-covered lake, like a frozen lake under here, with stalactites and stalagmites everywhere, and it just goes on for quite a ways, and
all right,
big cold area.
I'll have her post up down there, like near the entrance of that, and just kind of look around. And every so often, I'll check in through her eyes,
okay,
to see what she sees. And I will. All right, Eslov, it looks like the tunnel is clear. So if you want to lead the way, I'll follow behind.
Does that?
Okay, so Eslov goes first, holding onto the rope and getting past the steepest part till you get to the leveled off area.
Okay, there's no check involved.
Not with the rope, and you're not carrying anybody. You know, and now Cerridwen is planted up there, has the sword planted. You don't need to check now. And then, who's next? Vesryn?
I think we should tie Jacobo with the rope and lower him down to him.
Okay.
And then once you get down there, you can untie him, and then the rest of us climb down behind. And that way nobody has to carry anybody going down.
Okay.
Okay.
Just like lower him, he's like...
Yeah. Omari comes down, Morcant goes down. I guess
right.
Vesryn then.
Yep.
Okay. And then Cerridwen, you're last.
Okay, I'm gonna use...
I get out of the way at the bottom.
I used enhance ability on myself, and I'm pretty sure an hour has passed. And then I'll take the rope and coil it up, and take my sword and try to like slide or climb down.
Okay. Make me a dex save.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Oh, nice. You don't go bowling with everybody on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you're able to meander down very carefully down this slope. And when you get to the bottom, Vesryn, Soul is like flying around the room, and an area of snow is there, and it sees like the snow move in a spot, and it opens up like this, and there's a big eyeball in the snow, and it blinks, and you hear a
Yes.
and this is where we'll break.
Yay!
Myconids and snow monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
We end with an oh shit. That's all you guys would hear. Like Vesryn's looking through her eyes, and I'll see him go, "Oh shit."
As we usually do.
Vesryn,
What is it now?
This party can't catch a break.
We're in the underdark.
Sinking ships. Almost everybody's died. We only got like 2 people. One's almost on the edge of death.
Scott, did you get to the part in Dungeon Damsels where they're underground in the Underdark?
I did not. I don't remember that part. Although, what episodes was that?
We were in Underdark Lake.
That was a while ago, though, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I did see that. I saw part of that. That was a while ago. That was probably 6 months or a year, right?
Yeah, that was a while back. We also visited my cottage, but I called them arthrofungi because I don't like that name. Because I'm a word person, and I'm like,
that's cool.
No. I was just wondering if you got inspiration from me, but it sounds like you didn't, so
No.
it's fine.
If I did, it was subconscious.
I
So I subconsciously apologize if I did.
Oh man, you
All
guys. Y'all have scared the shit out of me. Y'all fallen under that thing's trance.
I was like one step away from having Cerridwen start stripping. Because I'm like, I feel like that's like just the next normal step at a dark party.
Oh man, Vesryn was shitting bricks. Please don't make me hit you with a fireball. Fine. And then, all right, here, fire.
Eslov was ready to lay down and go to sleep forever.
Y'all scared the shit out of me, man. I was like, yo, I cannot be in here with everybody gone.
I thought Eslov might have died in this session. I wasn't sure though. There's a chance.
Yeah, there was a chance we all could have died.
Yep.
I was like, is this the end? Like, ooh, we just become one with the mushroom.
Yeah. Actually, Omari missed a death save.
Oh my gosh.
And Morcant missed one also, but made a second one. So they were. Yakpo has missed two.
Gosh, my poor baby.
Yep. All right.
Live.
Thank you, Waffles Maple, for the raid earlier. We hope everybody had fun with Mike and Ids. Fun with fungi. Oh gosh, that's actually pretty good. Fun with fungi.
That should have been the name of the episode.
What did they think mushrooms?
That should have been better. It would have been too obvious, though. I didn't want it to be that obvious. Wait, I used a mushroom. That was pretty obvious, too. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Are we all there?
I've been awake for 18 hours.